We should be streaming. Let's see. We should be live. Welcome to the party. Why'd this change? Let's move this here. Are we live?
Yeah, I see it.
We see it. We're live. I'm going to pull up the chat over here. I'm going to move this. I don't know how that happened, but it did. And we're going to get going. Boom, 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 boom. Pulling up the chat. Who do we got? We got Matrix in the chat. Who else we got? I'm going to mute this. And we'll get going. Okay, let's start the stream off. I'm going to play this new one. This is going to be my next release. We got Darren After joining us all the way from Scotland. Stoked to have Darren on the show. Darren, you joined us before. When was that? That was back in November of last year, right?
That was when I put Touch, I think.
Yeah, when you put Touch out, we had you on.
Yeah, almost.
Dude,
it was a long time ago.
Darren is a wealth of knowledge, man. He knows so much. Hey, it's Warfy from Generation Media Group. What's up, bro? Warfy, actually from Barhaven, I do believe. My boy. I grew up there. It's a fun place. All right, let's play this track, and then we'll get into listening to your demos. You can submit them at the Linktree/Vibrancy label. There's a form there. That is the only place to submit them for the channel, and we'll be listening to the people who are the most active in the chat. So just be active in the chat, and we'll be listening to your tunes. We'll try and get through as many as we can, and super stoked. Okay, this is my next single, Up to No Good. You guys are some of the first people to hear it. Hope you guys like it. Let's go.
Is this the same vocalist as the other tune you put out?
Yeah. I actually just nabbed a line from that same session, which is kind of funny.
Oh, yeah.
But this line wasn't in that thing. Sound check, everything's sounding good so far? Any levels need to be changed? Let us know in the chat. That is that. All right, folks. Answer a couple questions. Chandler's asking if that's coming out on Vibrancy or another label. It's actually coming out on Thrive and Vibrancy. So that's me spilling the beans right there. We're doing like a little collab release on this stuff. So I'm super pumped about it. Check out. I'll just spill all the beans. It's coming out October 6th. So in 2 weeks from tomorrow. Super pumped, and then that's the first of a whole string of releases. All right, we're gonna get right into it. Dive in. Darren, are you ready? You ready to listen to some
Yeah,
demos?
yeah. My webcam, is it lagging? Do I need to fix this?
Dude, I feel like this happens often. It's just I feel like it's because I'm like streaming.
Yeah, I think it's because I'm plugged into like the wrong USB, but
You're good, man.
it's not that big a deal, right?
Oh, good. We're gonna start with AJ.
Someone in the chat was asking what headphones we use. I'm going to answer that first.
Yeah.
I use the Bear Dynamics 770s.
Hell yeah. Those
Those are like complete classics. I
Yeah.
went through like 4 different times.
Yeah.
Oh shit! The stream has been suspended.
Oh no! You know why?
Copyright yourself.
Oh man! You know what? It's because
You've copyrighted yourself.
lol, lol. I guess I. No. It'll pop back up in a second. I think it should be.
You copyrighted yourself. Well, that's happening. I'm just going to switch the USB on my webcam to the back of the computer. It should fix the lag. I think.
It again.
All right. Where am I?
Okay. I think we are kind of back on. I do believe. Okay.
Right.
We back. Okay. So I guess don't play songs that are already distributed and signed and in the copyright system. So that's why that happened. Oops. Oopsie daisies. I love it when that happens. Okay, let's listen. We're going to pull up AJ and Free Will. This is their tune, I Want to Lose Control. Both these guys from New Brunswick, Canada, my neck of the woods. So let's check it out. We'll turn it up a bit. Alex says second drop if possible. Let's do that. We'll skip ahead. I like the vocal. It's cool. Cool little fake up. Cool. Creative as hell. Wow, this is really cool, really fresh. What do you think, Darren?
I like it. I think like it feels like there's a really strong idea there with like the kind of the lead pluck. It's like got a really nice groove, and I feel like that could be brought more to like the main element instead of kind of try to do more with the song. I think it could be kind of simplified. Just to like, because I really like that kind of that the groove on that melody and stuff with the bass, and I think like the super solid and stuff coming in, although they sound quite cool, I feel like they kind of detract from that a bit. But like it's a really, I really like the groove and the vibe of it, and the build up again could be kind of simplified. I think it's almost doing too much when the original idea was really good.
Yeah,
so it doesn't need to.
It's something. I think I know what you mean in that.
Yeah, I'm doing a lot of my music. It's just taking what is the song and then just kind of simplifying it to make that pushed further forward.
Yeah,
and really making that very obvious. But the groove in that's really cool. I really like it.
Yeah, I like the
I
groove a
really
lot.
like that lead.
I think it's super like. To Darren's point, I think you guys have like a really, 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 really strong idea here, and like the foundation is really strong, which is like 99% of the time that's like the hardest part. I think from a mix standpoint, maybe try some different kick samples. I don't think the kick was really like, it didn't feel like it was coming through.
The low end could be a bit tighter.
Yeah, that kind of the whole low end in general, I felt like was lacking a little bit of beef and definition, and just kind of felt.
I would say for that type of song as well, you probably want the kick to be the main kind of low end hitter, just so it has more room to breathe. So like the kick really has to be thick. Yeah.
I think it could be bigger, thicker, and then the bass. I'm not really sure what's happening there. I think it's maybe some sort of like 808 type bass, but it was just feeling maybe a little muddy and a little messy. Maybe revisit that and just simplify it again, and maybe something. Even if you just take Serum and load in a sine wave, and just kind of add some saturation to that, and keep it like dumb simple to start. I think you don't need too much of a complex, super saturated bass, because I think you have so much room in the mids and the highs with all your lead and stuff that your bass could just be like, a pretty simple sine, or maybe just like a saw wave with a big filter on it or something that really just doesn't take up a lot of space, doesn't take up a lot of room.
Because you want that kind of the main lead and kind of groove to shine. You don't want to kind of take that away with the bass. It doesn't need to be complex.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
I wasn't really listening to the mix as much, just merely the idea. But
and then other mixed notes. I thought the clap was a little too loud. Maybe it could be like shorter, tighter, quieter, duller, less bright, less harsh. That was. Let me just 1 second. Yeah, maybe the hat and the clap could both maybe come down a little bit and be a little tighter, a little smaller.
That call and response with that, like the lead and then the kind of hit, saw hit or whatever it is really good though. I like that bum, bum. That's like that should be the song.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no.
I think it sounds almost too busy sometimes, and I think I get it. Try to make it complex but I think like when you're in a club, you're not going to be able to hear 90% of that. So that main element of the kick, the hi hat, the clap, and that lead, just get that really, really tight. I think would be my advice. Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right, let's move on, dude. Big ups, guys. I really liked it. And
that was a strong start.
Very, very, very strong song. I like seriously, if that song like had like a really, really well like polished mixed in and was all polished up nice, and maybe some of that busyness was removed, I think you really have like a banger on your hands for sure.
It's always better to have a good idea and a good mix, because you can almost make the mix better. But like not having a good idea, you can't really fix that.
Yeah, 100%.
You just have to make a new song.
Yeah, exactly. All right, this is Randy Biscuit. I do believe an Australian fellow, but living out on the West Coast. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is the tune, The Rhyme, Self-Master. Let's check it out. Skip the drum intro a bit. He abandoned you guys a year ago? Oh my gosh, so he doesn't live out west anymore. Maybe he's back in Australia. I don't know. Stunned, my dude. Woo! This is sick. All right, this is great. This is great. I like this a lot. I want to actually kind of hear how this lead progresses a bit. See how the second drum goes. Yeah, bro. This goes. Okay,
Yeah,
Darren,
nice groove.
I'll let you kick off. I don't have too many notes, but I want to hear what
No,
your
no,
thoughts
I
are.
liked it. The only thing I was thinking is like maybe like have a kind of stronger B section. So once that kind of vocal kind of plays this B section, like just having something that's kind of in your face there would be quite cool, just to kind of contrast it.
A little bit more of a
But
switch up.
yeah, just like I don't know, it's like maybe just a rise in the background, something that's kind of got some sort of interest, just to kind of keep the song going up the way. Instead of just kind of because it kind of comes in and it just kind of stays the same kind of energy level.
Mm-hmm.
You could even like 16 bars, drop it back down to a break, come back in. You know what I mean? But the groove in the drums, I actually like the drums. Usually I don't like the kind of more kind of big dry, like tighter drums, but that works quite well in that song. I think there's quite a lot of room for them to work.
Yeah. I know. I think the groove and the energy is excellent. I really don't. I agree with Darren on the B section thing. I think that's the whole second section of the drop. You could probably elaborate that more, switch it up.
That's like one of the hardest things to do as well.
Pitch the vocal
like,
or something. That could work. Maybe
yeah,
it changes.
I always struggle to do a B section, so it's not until like it's not the feedback's not just like oh just do it. It's easy. It's like it's kind of hard to kind of.
It says there's a big lead at random points. Heard it there. I'd take out that concentrate vocal only because I've just heard it in a million songs. You can think of something else more creative.
The pluck lead, I'm assuming he's talking about.
Yeah, I think that's what he's talking about.
I think that could be like if you're going to have that. I think maybe make it closer. It sounds quite reverb, being quite far away, almost in the background. It's like making that really transiting and like punch through would make it quite interesting. I think.
Yeah, dude, I love how everyone's chatting up. Randy Biscuit is like a fucking class DJ name. It's sick. I love it. I'm a big fan of the DJ name Randy Biscuit. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Randy,
it's better than Darren After, but you can't change it. You can't change it now. So
yeah, you're screwed now, bro. Oh wow, we're giving him all the tips that he's like. I already did it. The song's already been.
Yeah. It's just like try to listen to the whole 5-minute 38 song when it's like, we have to get through people. The thing is like about the feedback as well is like when I'm like giving feedback, there's a lot of stuff that I really like, but I'd rather just like the first thing that popped in my head is like after 16 bars, I felt like the track kind of got a bit repetitive and could have either break it down or bring in something new to me.
Hell yeah.
Especially in the modern generation with attention spans getting so low.
Yeah, you gotta keep things moving, forward. I only have a couple tiny notes just to add on. I think you could, and I'm gonna say this a lot to a lot of people, is maybe tighten up the clap a little bit. The clap felt a little washy, and then maybe have maybe even a tighter clap that's layered on top of it, that's a little louder, that's just like it's tighter, shorter, maybe even like not as high endy, maybe it's like a little lower mid-range dull sounding clap that kind of just is tighter, shorter, sits on top of it.
I'm a massive fan of like stacking claps. I usually have like 4 or 5 and then like if you need to pan them all, like 5 to the right, 5 to the left, and 1's 10, and just get that like so when you hits, and then you can do a thing where you like move the milliseconds, so like they hit at different times. I usually have like 1 millisecond after, 1 2 milliseconds before, depending on the transient, and it just makes a nice kind of instead of like a it just gives it that kind of
exactly. And I think
but you need to make them short as well. Paint them too long just sounds really old.
The other thing that I was going to note was maybe have a 16th note 808 closed hi-hat. I find the 808 closed hi-hat doing a 16th note
it's a classic, right?
Is literally just so, and I think it would help kind of carry this.
And obviously it needs to be swung.
One
big thing I notice in a lot of songs is the swings don't match. And if you're using Ableton, if you have an audio file, so it's a loop, quantize that loop and then add your swing to it and make sure the swings are all the same. And you can do a thing, if you like the swing of a loop, you can extract the groove. this is a big tip. I'm telling you, there's many songs I hear that they'll have like the right swings. Just people dragging a loop and then another loop and not realize they have different swings.
All right.
So make sure your swings are matching.
Locked in.
Yeah, it makes such a big difference.
Hell yeah. Okay, we're moving over. We're doing Dashie up next. Dashie, my dude from Ottawa. What a quality dude. Nicest guy around. And I'm super excited to hear his tune. Get ready. Let's go. Let's skip the drum intro. Bass House Mafia. Cool. Cool. Very, very cool. Oh, so a bass house type tune for sure. What do you think, Darren?
I liked it. I actually think the build up was really good. I liked how it felt. It felt like a nice build up, like someone that put a lot of time into it, and I appreciate that. Yeah. Bass house isn't like something I'm too versed in, so I can't like be like too much. But what I would like is maybe just to kick a bit heavier. Mm-hmm. Another tip is there's a plugin called Bark of Dog, and you can add like bass to your kick. I use it all the time, and if you set it like 40 hertz and put like a few dB, it just makes your kick thump harder.
Nice.
And I think that would sound really good there because the bass is kind of more. I actually
agree. I think the kick could use a little bit more like sub.
Yeah, I think if that kick really thumps, it would really bring that kind of. And because if you add more bass, it's going to take away from the nature of that bass line, which I think is quite cool.
Yeah.
So
another plugin that does something very similar is called R-Bass by Waves, and it does something.
Yeah. There's tons of plugins like that. I use Bark of Dog. You can use what's it called? There's one that's a UED one that's like expensive, and Bark of Dog is a simulation. It's free. So, but again, there's like I like the B section. There's like a lead that came in. I just want to hear that fully dry. I think it would sound really sharp if it was really dry.
Yeah.
I think it would add a lot to the groove. But that might sound bad, but to my ear, I'd immediately try that.
Cool.
But I liked this a lot. It was quite unique.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool, pretty unique. One note that I had, I love the build, love the drop, love how it kind of transitioned into it. This, there's like a little perk thing that happens. It's like, I think you have room to progress the groove, and I think you're along the right like train of thought by having like a mid-rangey perk loop kind of come in there. But I think you could have something that really contributes to the groove a little bit more. That's maybe a little less sporadic, maybe a little like a bongo conga sort of mid-range. Maybe even it's just like a mid-range chicka 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 cha. Also, I'd be curious to hear same feedback as Randy if you just had a 16th note closed 808 hi-hat ticking along.
Yeah, and you can bring that in after like 16 bars.
Exactly, bring it in after I'd say 8 right at this section here.
The way I think about it is like if you're 125 BPM, say you had a kick, that's like every quarter note, then you had a hi-hat, that speeds the track up by 2. Then you add the clap, right? So that's that 8th notes, right? As soon as you bring that 16th note in, that's you speeding up the track again because you're going from 8th note of groove, boom, you're speeding up track twice as much. So it has this illusion of the track getting faster. So like bringing that in, it always just adds so much energy.
Dude,
I always kind of think about it as that.
Yeah. Dude, big ups. Dashie, that was an awesome
Yeah, that's track. Sick. I really like to build up. That's good work.
Great
work. A lot of people kind of spend too little time on build-ups.
Yeah. All right. Let's pull up Wharfie. Wharfie, I do believe I went to high school with your brother. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you're or I feel like I did. We went to the same high school. I think we talked about this at one point. All right. We're pulling up Wharfie. This is his tune, UFO. That's what I thought, bro. Hell yeah. This is cool, bro.
Happened to me about 2 weeks ago. I was about 45 miles out of Chicago, driving my car on the highway. Next thing I noticed, there's this really bright light above me. At first I thought it was a helicopter. Then I looked up and it was something. Alien just staring at me. Staring at me. Alien staring at me. Alien just staring at me. Just staring at me. Alien staring at me. And it was alien. Alien just staring at me.
All right, sick. Pause it there. Really cool tune. Really well done for your first.
Yeah, unique.
He said he's a prog guy making tech house for the first time or one of the first times. I don't know. So what do you think, Darren?
I think it's like a unique idea, right? And like I said, it's much better to have like a unique idea and a good mix. The mix obviously is quite got a way to go, but yeah, it has like a theme, and I kind of appreciate that. I like the kind of sounds. The build up was quite good.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously the low end could use quite a bit of work, but if you're making tech for the first time, it's going to take a while to kind of get that right.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good idea. It was a lot too much reverb and stuff for tech house. Tech house is kind of more quite sharp and cutting through, but you know, cool idea. Mix down's quite a bit to go, obviously.
Yeah.
Just keep at it. Like it's. You know, the more tech house tracks you make, the closer you'll get to that mix down.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. I thought I would. The biggest thing that you had that like is the hardest thing to get is like you do have a groove, man. So, and like you have a bass line that's flowing, you have a drum groove that's grooving, and oftentimes that is the hardest part to nail. So big ups there. I felt like you had, yeah, as far as the mix goes, like some of those synths were kind of like way too loud. I'd bring them down, and some of the other drum elements I think just need to kind of be finessed and tightened up. And you know, I think maybe the kick could be louder, maybe the clap could be quieter, maybe the leads could be quieter. I feel like what will help you more than anything, and this goes for everybody working on everything, and if this is your first time tuning into the stream, you'll hear me preach this over and over and over again, but reference tracks will be like the game changer in bringing your tracks from like good to great, because you'll be able to.
You literally can't mix without a reference track. Like even the best engineers in the world, because your brain doesn't work. If you keep hearing the same thing over and over again, you will get used to it, and it will sound good to you. It's impossible to mix without a reference. Like it genuinely isn't possible. Mm-hmm. You could be the best mix engineer in the world, but you have to have something to refer to.
Yeah, exactly. So just the biggest tip is just bring in a couple songs into your DAW, and songs that you love, that you know are mixed and mastered as great as you can. If you're in Ableton, you can even set them to on the right there. You can set their output instead of going to the master channel. You can even set it to external out, which will bypass all your master effects. And then you can just compare that track to yours. Be like, how loud is their kick? How loud is their clap? How loud is their hi-hat? How long is their kick? How short is it? Is it really low? Is it really high? Is it really punchy? Is it really dull? Like all the different characteristics, and then just try and think accordingly about how you could do that in your track. And I recommend starting at the source, right? If you're working on a track and you throw in a kick and then you're referencing it to another track and you're like, oh, like their kick sounds way more thuddier than mine, right? So instead of just adding on some EQs and noise and trying to make the sample that you already have in there thuddier, instead go try and find a thuddier sample. That will help you way more than just trying to process the samples that you already have in your project. 110%.
Always start with good. Like, I've heard every single person I've ever heard has the same advice. Start with better samples.
Mm-hmm.
What's even better to do is just to go on Vibrancy and steal all of our kicks, and claps and hi-hats that we've spent years finding and tuning.
Yeah, you can
download. I think like stealing kicks is like a thing. I think I don't know if I've ever released a song with a stolen kick, to be fair, but I've made edits with stolen kicks, I think. And you can't say stolen, it's like sampling, right? But
yeah,
if you go to start a song that has a kick, first kick of the song, grab it, and you can use like shaper box if you want to like really fine tune it to like your kind of needs. But I think like having a good kick is paramount. Like, kick is king. That's what I always think about. And so like having a good kick is like the best starting place for making house.
Dude, 100%.
And like your ear gets trained to that, right? What is a good kick? For tech house, it's something that's kind of thumpy but short, not too heavy but not too light.
It's very, very hard to.
It takes a long time to get that ear right.
Yeah,
just steal them.
Hell yeah! Okay, we got Hanu and Who Am I up next. Hell yeah! Let's check this out. This one's called Culture. Super stoked with these guys. These guys already always send in like the sickest tunes. Hanu, you're Hawaiian, correct? You're from there? I'm actually going to Hawaii on Monday. I'm very excited. I've never been before. Cool time. All right, let's go.
Hey, I'm in immediately.
Already love it. We're going to Oahu because I'm playing in Honolulu. DJ.
You do this for the fame, I do this for the culture.
Woo!
You looking like a vulture. I do it for the culture.
Wow, this is great. Wow, that is a really, really well produced song.
Yeah, mixed in is great.
Yeah, mix is.
I like the width.
Quality.
The width is really nice.
Yeah,
just sounds like it fills up the space.
Yeah, very big, very huge, quality mixed down. I like the vocal.
Yeah,
I don't really have too many notes, I don't think.
Yeah, it's not really my genre, so I can't really say like too much about the idea. But I'll just go for the mixed in. Mixed in, it was really good. Yeah, I think like there is like space in the song for like some like kind of mid-range elements. If you want to add some percussion in that, but I don't know if that's
dude.
Like it sounds good. It sounds heavy.
This is super excellent. So my notes on it are like, and I think, again, for this style and what you're going for, you killed it. I think this
sounds like something that would be on Confession or something.
Yeah, exactly. Now, food for thought. I think this style is maybe like leaning more towards like I don't want to say like bass house that's already like done its thing and like been popular and whatnot, but it does feel maybe slightly dated in that like, yeah, I don't know. I think right now we're at like a point in music where we want to, really be hearing the new shit. And I just know the reason I'm telling you guys is because you guys are both two of like the most skilled and talented producers I know. Like you guys are really, 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 really solid and very technically refined. Like you know how to produce and you know how to make a song sound really, really, really good. So I think you guys can push your creativity. And
it feels like they're playing it a bit safe here, right?
Yeah,
and like the mix down and like the elements here are good enough to make something. For me, like again, I don't know this genre too well, but I was hearing like some sort of like really plucky lead, something that would be quite like not too crazy on melody, but just kind of something groovy, something like that's moving about a lot and kind of bringing that mid-range into something that's just like a pluck. I would think would be really interesting in that kind of in the drop, and maybe not even the first drop. You can have the first drop as the bass because it sounds good. Then second drop, you could really bring in like a pluck that's kind of similar to like something by like Biscuit. So if you listen to his new stuff, he has these kind of like plucks that come in. Maybe not like the exact same elements, but like that kind of idea. I think that's to my ear what I would explore if I was making this song. But again, I don't try to hear that second. Let's listen to the second drop anyway.
Sure.
Caesars. If this comes in exactly what
you do this for the fame, I do this for the culture.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very, very, very well produced. I think I wouldn't change much about this song.
I like the energy and stuff.
I think for you guys, just keep on making music together because you guys are a great duo. Keep on pumping up. The song is great. I don't think you should change it drastically based on everything that we said. I think you should just keep on, but like just keep on writing new music. And I just think that when you go to write another song and go to write new music, really try to push yourself. Try to like figure out what is the next thing. What is the next most creative thing? What's the most unique stuff I could do? And like how am I gonna like write stuff that is going to be kind of crazy on the dance floor too? Okay, we've been doing a lot of talking and not a lot of music listening.
We're trashing it. Yeah,
that's okay.
I mean,
we're getting there. Let's do.
I would trash it.
Okie dokie. Edgar, my dude, let's do it. Let's hear what you got. I'm excited. What the fuck is house? What is house? I don't even know anymore.
That's a good question. There's like a new kind of genre coming out. It's like tech house.
Okay, this is really. There's some really cool parts in this. I like it.
Yeah. I actually quite like the vibe of it.
Yeah.
Could be tighter, and I think the low end could be brought quite a bit. But I like that the kind of groove. The
groove is great. The groove is
Yeah.
really, really, really good. And the sample selection in the mix is also really great. I think there's times that it feels like there's a bit too much going on, a little bit busy,
a bit too much reverb, I would say. I think F-Fruity could be a bit tighter.
I think there's some like a drowny lead thing and then a vocal chop, and they're both kind of like almost playing conflicting rhythms. I'd only have one of them. I think you can kind of strip a few elements out, and then right at the drop, I think there was. Let me listen to it. So yeah, right there we have like a clink clink, we have a woo, we have the so there's like 4 or 5 like different elements all happening there. Let's maybe focus on a couple there and push some of that other stuff to the back. Just try to like really hone in on like what is the sauce on that drop. Put some of the other stuff, either like take it out completely or just turn it down in volume. Maybe you automate it in. Maybe it comes in the second half, something like that. I just think there's too much going on right in that first bar.
I think that
drop.
That advice goes to so much. It's like a lot of times when we're making music, we'll have an idea and we'll think that's just not strong enough, so I need to add something else on top of it, and then you end up with like 4 elements all fighting, but it fills up the frequency. But is it really good, or is it just filling out a frequency so it sounds good? Do you know what I mean? Like if you listen to any of the big songs coming out, they'll always have like one element that's like the main bit, and then maybe supporting elements that come in at some points, but it always gives room to that main element. And I think a lot of songs we're hearing that are really good, but just maybe a bit too, like, not having confidence in the original idea and kind of putting a lot of stuff on top of it.
Yeah. For sure.
Because I think like that groove and the pluck and the bass that all work really well, and I think that could just be the whole song. And the stuff that comes in at the start could be moved maybe to like a B section. Because like a lot of songs I hear, I like the first drop at least to have like just to introduce the main elements, and then you've got all these elements to add in later on.
That's it, man. That's it. I really liked it, though. I liked how dark it was. I really liked the writing on it. I like the notes that you chose. So, yeah, big ups. Okay, let's keep on moving on. I pulled up good friends of mine's Tanoso. These are 2 buddies of mine from Los Angeles who Jacob does all the singing. Also, they like play guitar and drums, and they do kind of like a live act, but it's also kind of like electronic housey. They're fucking awesome. So let's check it out. Sorry, Adam. These are real musicians.
It's gonna rain down sugar and just you wait. You better lick it up off your plate. Yeah,
harmonies are sick.
Down deeper and find a way. You gotta show 'em all how you play. It's gonna rain down sugar and just you wait. You better lick it up off your plate. Yeah, you gotta dig down deeper and find a way. You gotta show 'em all how you play.
Woo! Wow, this is great. wow, guys, every time I hear a new song of yours, it's always like so
Just release it.
fresh, man.
Just release it. That-
They're awesome,
That's
man.
big vibes. Yeah, I'm loving like the soulful funk vibes. That's just that goes right to my brain. I love it.
Yeah.
Yes, I like the vocals as well. Vocals are good.
Yeah, songwriting on this one, 10 out of 10. Definitely one of my favorites. If I were to like give any notes, I'd say I think there could be a little bit more of a wow moment between the like the verse when the vocal is and then when it drops. I think that could be just doing with some more automation and volume changes, right? Maybe I think the vocal is maybe a touch loud. Maybe it could come down a little bit. And I think it could also, you could lay off some of the delay and the reverb on the vocal as well. The track did feel slightly wetter than I thought it needed to be.
It's yeah, there's a lot of reverb. My thing with reverb is like, I always kind of think if you have one element with a lot of reverb, then other elements can't have reverb. You can't have clashy reverb.
Yeah.
Let one element be reverby. And if you want another element that has reverb, make it short and make one long. So like they have different reverbs. Don't have them overlaying each other. So like, if you're gonna have like vocal reverb, say, make that massive, but then have like the plucks have really short reverbs. Don't give them none, but like just make it short. It just makes the track this space for the reverb to like, you know. But like that's really good. I really like that.
I felt like some of the other maybe auxiliary, you have little guitar slaps and some other stuff. I felt like that was also maybe like a touch loud, especially with the vocal. They were all kind of, I think, mute all that stuff, like get your like drum groove and bass just like super, 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 super locked, and then kind of mix everything else up into that. I think some of those other sounds just felt like they were maybe sitting on top of things a little bit. That's mostly it, man. It's oh, and I felt like the kick was a little bit, if you just like scooped out a little bit from the high end and the high mids of the kick, I think it doesn't need to carry as much weight in that department. I think it could be a little bit more bass heavy.
Yeah, all of our complaints are basically just a bit mixed in, but like the actual
they're just tiny mixed things, but the song's fucking
the vibe of the song and the songwriting.
Quality, very fucking quality, man. Big ups.
Yeah. I'm gonna make sure I follow them on Instagram. Is that
Tanoso.
That's kind of stuff I listen to. I like that kind of soulful house.
Yeah. As everyone was saying in the chat, like reference some Disclosure tunes. You know, the new Disclosure album is very much that.
The Disclosure album's maybe a bit too fast, but it's similar.
But from like a mixing standpoint.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, similar. You know what? Anyone can reference Disclosure because their mix is just incredible. So forget what I'm saying. Reference Disclosure.
Yeah, they get great mixes, man. All right, let's
and you can go back and watch his streams. He goes for all these songs. Really good.
Hell yeah. Let's do Donner. Donner, I believe, is going to be at the show that I'm playing on Saturday. We're playing London Music Hall in London, Ontario with Dr. Fresh. I just saw him in my DMs earlier, so that's how I know. All right, Donner, Money. Let's check it out.
Money.
I can feel the speed.
Money got me like.
Cool. This is creative. Very creative.
Yeah. It's a lot to take in, but like I'm still kind of coming to terms with it. It's unique.
Darren's still coming to terms with what he heard.
Yeah. It's just not that it's a bad thing. It's just yeah, it's a lot to think about.
It's a lot to think about.
Yeah, I need to listen to it again. But,
Dude,
that's unique and cool.
Is it-
Again, it's not like something that I would say is my expertise in genre wise, but
yeah.
what BPM is that? It's quite fast.
Is it?
134 or something?
Yeah, it's a little fast.
I have BPM calculator.
Maybe
Tell us the BPM in chat.
128, 130, something like that.
Really? I feels faster for some reason.
Maybe I'm wrong, but
Yeah, you're probably right. I'm terrible at counting BPM.
okay. I think I'm not totally sold on the big
Yeah, 132.
the big
Sorry.
super saw. Wah. Just it's like it's all right, but I think everything else is way cooler in the track, right? I think that's the one element that I'm like, eh. Otherwise, I also think like it's just a little too chaotic. I think
like that super saw, I was hearing it in my head, it's like being shorter. So instead of going, it was like, whoop, and then just kind of stopping and then letting some reverb tail it maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. When I hear songs, I just hear what I change them to and what I do. And that's
Yeah.
the first thing that popped in my head was just kind of like a really short stabby, like not short, but like maybe like an eighth or a quarter note, just kind of hit it and then let the kind of, because like basically what it is you've got lead vocal leads and there's no time for the track to just kind of sit before the next element comes in.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of just something coming in every time. And I think just having that bass like for 2 seconds, then the next element comes in.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? So it's up, then it's down, it's up, then it's down, instead of just kind of bum, 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 bum. But the calm response is cool.
Yeah. I know. I think it's great. Maybe just play some of those elements, let the groove ride out a little more, and lock that in. The other thing I did want to like just draw attention to, I think maybe pay attention to how you have your swings on your different samples there. It felt like maybe they weren't lined up, that you didn't have the same swing settings on everything, that some of the hats were maybe swung a little bit more than others, maybe some were still on the grid, and try to like pay attention to all the elements in your track, not just like the drums, maybe like the bass and other perks and other like stints or stabs or whatever. Make sure that all of them are kind of using the same same swing settings and are locked into the same groove. So hell yeah. Big ups. I felt like that was a really creative one. All right, next up, let's do Crossed Up. Gavin. I appreciate you guys. It's always a bunch of the same folks every month tuning in. And I know we skipped August, but I have it in my calendar that we're going to be doing these every month. I'll try to give you guys a little bit more heads up, but you guys know where to find out. Sandro, not too late to submit. You can send in. We're just getting going. I stoked. Oh man, Sandro, last time you had one of the sickest tunes of the stream, so I'm excited to hear what you send in. All right, this one's Crossed Up, called DAT, or it's called DAT.
Moving to the sound of the sound of the
This is sick.
moving to the sound of the moving to the sound of the
Skip ahead a little bit.
moving to the sound of the
All right. This is a cool little tune. Mix is sounding great. The leads are working. Everything's sounding great. What do you think, Darren?
Yeah, the mix is good. I like the drums. Are really punchy in your face.
Mhm.
Since I think like if you're going to be this kind of good at mixing and like putting all the elements together, you could probably kind of create your own voice a bit more. It kind of felt a bit similar to stuff that I've heard before, and I'm not someone that listens to this stuff a lot, so like
Mm-hmm.
it kind of still it sounded a bit kind of dated a bit.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I think like if you're going to be like this good at making music, you have to have the confidence to kind of make something new and trying something new, I think. And like, not to say a song isn't good, but like a lot of times labels listen to that and go, we've already signed that kind of thing. You know what I mean? And they're sometimes looking for something new. And you know what I mean? I think like you could get something that's a lot more modern and yourself maybe instead of something that sounds a bit kind of that's been done before.
Yeah. Mitchell, we are 100% going to listen to your tune. And dude, we all at some point were in your shoes, right? We all wrote music that was, we all started somewhere, and everybody's first song, is their first song. Nobody's expecting their music right at the gate to be awesome. And this feedback that we're giving, and this goes for everybody, right? We're trying to give feedback that's appropriate to everyone's like current level of skill, right? We can get a vibe from these crossed up guys that they're very skilled producers, so they can hear that, okay, you've gotten to this stage where you can produce really well. Now's when you need to like, okay, how do I write really creative music, right? And I think this is well produced. I think it's the creativity that could be flexed on a little bit more. I don't have too many notes on the mixer things. I think you could just, it needs a little bit more spunk, a little bit more spice, a little bit more memorable moments, some more swagger to it. Hopefully that gives you some ammo, some more, I think, memorability. Is that a word? Make it more.
Yeah, well, there's a word now.
Memorability.
Yeah.
Rememberability. Edgar, man,
but,
thank you for tuning in.
Just going back to it started a month ago, it's like it's still probably useful to get some sort of like, because like the feedback we can give to someone started a month ago isn't going to be like, oh, you need to, get that clap to make it, it's not going to be something that's going to in depth, but like just giving pointers like reference tracks, copy people's structure of their tracks is huge. Understand why things are used and not how. Like, is it when you start, you're always like, how do I use a compressor? Don't think about why to use a compressor, when to use a compressor, and stuff like that is more important than like us just being like, yeah, you need to add a snare roll at 40 seconds. It's like, why do you need to add a snare roll at 40 seconds? So like, even starting off, it's useful to get advice like that. I think it speeds you up, right? And it's more about training your ear than training your skills of production.
Yeah,
and that just takes a lot of time. You know what I mean?
100%.
To know why instead of how.
Yeah.
Is kind of what I think.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
It doesn't. No, I'm kidding.
No,
okay,
it
I think we got Mitch's tune here. I do believe, right? Unless there's another Mitch.
Hey, he's killing it on the decks, right? So,
yeah, look at him. See, dude, you already got all the elements, man.
yeah, release it.
Make it bring it stop. Make it bring it stop. Make it bring it stop.
How long ago did you say you started producing?
He said a month ago.
A month ago? Genuinely a month ago? Really?
what you want when you're here with me. Watch me do my thing. Put some money, I'll make it please.
Cool, dude, bro. You are like, after a month getting all of that and you have a full song here that has all the parts. It has like literally everything, and you just started a month ago. That is mad respect, bro. Like,
It took me a month to crack Ableton.
yeah, dude. Like, if I were to
I was
show
still
you-
like, free trial.
oh, bro. Like, even after a
Not
year, I
working.
wasn't writing music this good, man. Like,
No, that sounds better. And like sometimes I have it, like, you know, when you have an off day in the studio and you're making rubbish, somehow.
yeah,
I not to say it's just rubbish, but like for someone that's been doing it for years,
yeah, dude.
it still sounds better than my off days.
Yeah. So excellent work. Yeah. Okay. So let's try and just give you some good like. Okay. So here's my general advice to you if you've only been producing for a month, and this is kind of like where you're at right now. My general advice: just keep doing this, what you did right here, and just do it over and over and over and over and over again. And don't stress about like making the song like polished and picture perfect and like absolutely like it's not going to sound like the pros, and it probably won't for a while. And everybody out here who's maybe been producing for a couple of years can attest that it takes a while. And
You also get humbled over and over and over again.
100%.
You always think you're there, and then like you're like, why are these labels rejecting my songs? I'm so good, and then like a month later you're like, oh, I was shit.
Exactly.
And that happens. It still happens every single. Like, I genuinely mean this. It will still happen forever. You never get past that. So you just need to kind of accept that you're much worse than you probably think you are. So always just keep trying to kind of improve. Don't ever think you're yet there. But this is good. Like, the element's good. You know what, the groove with the bass is good as well. Like, it kind of has that kind of. It kind of stops and starts. It doesn't just have like a kind of rolling bass line kind of thing.
Yeah, dude.
And
you genuinely have all the elements, and like maybe we could give you like little notes and whatnot on the mix down or the
my
arrangement
note
or
would
whatever.
be to not put a super solid drop. I know that sounds fun, but even starting, I would say just try and like make tech house that has no synth at the drop, because then if it hits, it means you've got a good groove and a good something to build on, and you can then put a synth on afterwards. But don't put the synth on before. I used to do that all the time. I was like, my drop isn't hitting hard enough. Saw done, and then you just realize that you've just made a kind of crappy groove.
Yeah.
So but
Keep
the
on-
grooveness is cool.
Keep on writing songs at this point. Just like churn them out, because right now you're probably at a stage where each time you write a song, you're going to try something new that you'd never ever done before and never tried before. And you're going to run into like, oh, like this is how this plugin works, this is how the synth works, this is how this works. And simply by like just rinse and repeating, writing as many different songs and trying as many different things and different methods and different approaches and even different genres and styles, man. I don't know if you like are strictly like, I only like tech house, but like if you're down to write other genres, give it a go. Try it, because you're going to learn and you're going to gain some value out of it.
I think we both do code production, right? Well, I don't know if that's supposed to be hush hush, but you need to make money somehow, right? So I do like quite a lot of like drum and bass and stuff like that, and I've learned a lot of just from making drum and bass. I've learned quite a lot of stuff from that genre that you would never think about. A lot to do with like build ups and like get claps. Like you need to have in drum and bass, a snare really needs to hit. So like you can kind of transfer over to making house and be like, oh, my claps sound crap after making drum and bass. I then go, I want to make them sound much thicker, and then they don't have to be as loud, and they're not breaking everyone's ears at the gigs. So that's just like one example.
Yep, hell yeah.
And you love the drum and bass is so sick. I fucking love drum and bass. But
the other thing that helped me out majorly, and like got me probably from the point that you're at right now to sort of like that next level, was I would bring in songs, and we were talking earlier about reference tunes where you're just like, okay, like how loud is that kick drum? How loud is that clap kind of thing? But I would totally full on try to recreate songs sound for sound and be like, okay, you know, they put a clap here and then they put, what's that other sound that's like right after there? And I would try to just identify every little tiny element in a song. From all the background textures to all the little perks and all the little stuff, I'd literally try to just identify everything and recreate it.
That's what I done when I started doing drum and bass for like Ghost production. I didn't know drum and bass. I've listened to it, but I don't know how to produce it. So I just remade like 5 drum and bass songs.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go, why did they put this here? Do you mean you go, why is there a riser 4 bars in? And you go, that other song done that as well. And then you start to learn, oh, that's why. And if once you know why, that's so much more important again than knowing how, because like knowing why is why someone is a good producer. We could have the same technical skills, but like if you know how to write, like Chris Lake is like the king of this. I listen to Chris Lake songs and go, oh, that's so smart. He put that there. It's so he has it's in his brain, right? Chris Lake's a really good producer, but he's not the most technical producer of all time. He just has. Good if you watch his streams, he's just kind of floating about, thinking about stuff, and he's not super technical, but he has a brain that just works for dance music, and he just knows how to get people dancing, and he generally is a musical genius to me. But that's kind of the reason. It's not being super technical, it's just the knowing when to do things, and you know, it's a superpower. I wish I had that. Watch Chris like streams, he just he'll be making something shit, and then like he'll change one thing, it sounds amazing. I'm like, what the how's he done that?
Good drums. It's the backbone.
Yeah, drums.
All right, bra guy. Brothers and sisters, let's give her a whirl.
Oh shit, some disco? That's a lot of phaser on that.
Clap's a little loud. Maybe it could be a little duller. This is cool. Whoa. All right, you have a bunch of cool elements. Bunch of cool elements. This is going to be a prime example, I think, of where a reference track is going to help you more than you know, more than you realize. Especially on just trying to figure out some of the levels of some of those chords and choppiness. I think a lot of I felt like everything was kind of fighting for space. Everything was loud here.
Yeah,
what do you think?
everything was loud and then the same frequency range.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's just too much. I think like I would strip that back and start from scratch with that. Like get the kind of take the main element, the disco loop, and kind of figure out what frequencies are. Okay, it's like 300 to like 1500 is the main frequencies, and then realize that is the frequencies that's taken up, and nothing else can really be too loud in that element, right? And then you have the hi-hats above that, the bass and the kick below that, and you just want, like, there was too much mid-range, and it was all kind of happening at the same time. Like the bass was mid-rangey,
yeah,
and then the vocal was mid-rangey, and then it was just too much mid-range, and it just sounded like a.
And I don't think you need to delete. Maybe one of those elements could go, but I think a lot of it can just be fixed with volume. I think some of that.
Yeah, mainly that the low end is the main thing there.
Yeah.
Like that bass was way too mid-rangey.
Yeah, and turn down some of that other stuff. Sidechain it. I think the easiest way is going to be 1, referencing other tunes. 2, start with your drums. So just kick, clap, hat. Slowly mix everything else up in volume. And just bring it in element by element, slowly. And yeah, not everything needs to be crazy loud. It'll also help you to just listen on a few different systems, listen on your headphones, listen on your studio monitors, listen in the car, listen on a bunch of different systems, and that will kind of give you a better idea of how to balance some of those sounds out. Cha.
But that the thing with like mixing it is just, it's about building up your ear again, like we say. So the reference tracks really help, because once you're listening, then you're understanding more and more. Your brain is taking in information every time you do it, and you won't really just fix that overnight. But you get more information, you become better, your ear gets trained, you become a better mixer. And it's a slow process.
Yeah, that's it.
But you know, it's a fun one to me, at least.
Dude,
you know what I mean? Like when you're making shit music and then you see John Summit play one of your tracks, you're like, oh, sick. And then you get massive anxiety. You're like, did I mix that very well? Does everyone think I'm shit? And then you have a breakdown, and it's a long cycle.
That's it, man. It's never ending.
What I'm saying is quit. Don't do music. Everyone in the chat, it's sorry.
But I mean, I and even all the biggest artists and even my peers that I know that are like who I idolize and I really look up to as producers, they often will be not super proud of themselves and don't think their music's great. Darren's a prime example of this. I don't think I've ever heard a song that Darren's ever sent me that I haven't been like, holy shit, this is amazing. And Darren's sitting there like, wow, I hate it all, right?
I don't think I've ever sent you a song where I've not swapped the mix down like a week. And to the annoyance of the great Todd, who always has to deal with
I don't
my
even
bullshit.
know which. I think I might still have, and you're gonna hate me for this. I think the version that I've been DJing out of Dance with me is one of the older versions. I don't even know if.
But the bass
USB.
on that is peaking at 10.5, and I want it peaking at 10. It's
Yeah.
0.5 decibels too quiet. How dare you?
Yeah.
And the clap is 0.1 decibels.
Yeah, well, guess
It really
what?
gets to that,
It
though. Like,
bangs, bro. It bangs. The new mixdown does sound a little better, though. I did notice that, but I don't.
yeah, I think like the new mixdown, I just kind of, I don't know. I didn't listen to the song for like a few weeks, so I had an objective opinion about it.
That is a
you know-
major tip. I was
Yeah.
doing a session with someone this morning, and I was talking about this, about like, hey guys, if you guys are working on a song for 2 or 3 days or whatever, even if you've been however long you've been working on it, and you kind of reach a point where you don't know what to do anymore, you're kind of just stuck, right? Biggest advice ever: just stop. And just don't touch it for a couple of weeks. Don't touch it for a couple of weeks, maybe a month, but listen to it a bunch. Get familiar with it. Just sit with it. Listen to it a bunch. Maybe load it on your USB stick and start DJing it. Just kind of live with the song for a little bit. Let it be yours. And then after like 3 weeks or a month, you'll start to be like, okay, wait, I know what's wrong. I know. Yeah. That actually, like, the low end is just a little muddy and a little messy, and that my clap is way too loud.
It gives you a really good objective opinion if you forget the song. I do this thing where I go back to projects that are like 3 months. I'll go back 3 months ago. So I'll go, say it's September, and then I'll go back to like June, and I'll look at June, and I'm like, oh my god, I scrapped this. This is incredible. Or another song, I'll be like, oh, I scrapped this. That sucks. Yeah, I should have. And there's like sometimes you go back and be like, wait, this was really good. Why didn't I finish this? But at the time, you probably worked on it for like 6 days in a row and got so sick of it. You were like, this is never going to be good. And I do this thing I call like circular production. Whereas I'll have like, I'm always working on like 6-7 songs at once.
Dude, I feel like I do the exact same thing.
Yeah. And I go like song A, and then I'll be bored of mixing that. I'll go to song B, and I'll go to song C, a D, E, F, and then I'll look back. And that kind of way, I feel like once you get back to the first song, you've kind of forgot most of the things about it, and you have like a clean ear. Even if it's like in the same day, I could be working on 5 songs, and by the time I get back to song 1, it's like 8 hours later if I'm working all day on it. I'm like, oh yeah, shit. Now I have a clean ear almost. I can be like, that hi-hat's ass. I'm going to swap that out. Do you know what I mean? But like, I find that really useful, because like not working on a song for 3 weeks is good, but sometimes you're like, I need to get that song worked on, and it's like annoying to kind of think about. But if you're working on multiple songs, I think you get a palate cleanse
That's it.
almost.
That's
And
it.
you're not working on it for too long either. Because if you work, I'm telling you, if you work on a song for like, unless you're just starting a song, but if you work on a mix down for like 5 hours, it always is worse than when you started. I always
Oh,
like go back to the
man.
original,
I'm
and you're like, I waited all that time.
I'm really bad for that. I'm
It's so it's so bad. I don't know how.
especially
to
if
fix
you're in
it.
headphones, and I'm in headphones.
Yeah,
a
yeah,
lot.
yeah.
I know
Your ears
you
get
are-
fatigued.
You are too, Darren. You know, if you spend too much time in headphones, it's just it's a bit of a
Yeah.
disaster. Okay, let's move on. This one on the sheet here it says it's Jake Blue, Chan, and Bank. I just don't know if it's the title's correct. Here it's just Jake Blue, but it's called Stop Drop.
Come around. Let me take you to the underground. Stop, drop, come around. Let me take you to the underground.
Oh yeah.
This is cool.
Underground.
Some of the drums are a little loud, I feel like. It's kind of taken away from the bass line. Claps specifically, but vocals are great.
Let me take you to the underground.
Oh, bro. A little bit of reverb, room tone on that hi-hat. Maybe quieter hi-hat too. Yeah, that's it. Quieter hi-hat.
You could like shorten the hi-hat as well.
Shorten it, tighter, quieter.
I sometimes play around with gates on hi-hats, and
smart.
like you can really choke it and then have the release dialed in as much as you want. So you can get this like, and then it kind of, and you can basically control the transient and the release with the Ableton, at least on the gate.
With the gate. That's smart. I've never done it with the gate. This is great, man. I like it a lot. That lead, that drop is fucking awesome. I love that vibe. Really kind of it did it for me. It hit my buttons. But I would also maybe tease that lead in maybe even just doo in like the first bit, or doo, just like one little tease. It did feel like it kind of came a little bit out of nowhere.
Yeah,
Really
got
liked it though. Really
got a certain Amsterdam vibe.
Yeah. I did actually kind of think maybe it was the melody of it.
Yeah, I would think like if you're going to kind of do that kind of lead or that melody, you have to choose one or the other. And I think the melody was probably a bit too close. You would probably, labels might just be like, nah, that's a bit too close and not release that. But if you kind of change it to something that's a bit more
Finesse
you
it.
know, yeah, mate, just don't make it so obvious.
All right, let's move on. Let's do Tuesday. This one's, I like this already. Soundscapes. I'm always throwing crickets in my songs too, bro.
That's a classic.
All right. This is really well written. Yeah. So eyes closed, let the music guide you. Yeah, I wanted to close my eyes there for a second, really take it all in.
I'm telling you, like the difference between like someone who's like a kind of high level professional producer and someone that's not is just like the execution, because the idea here is really good and I actually like it.
It's excellent.
I think just like the structure and like the start of it, you know what I mean? It's almost like try to do too much and stuff like that. But I think like it's a really cool. I actually really liked it. I like the kind of bass groove, and I think the drums sound really nice. Like the hi-hat was really nice.
Yeah. No, I don't have too many notes, man.
And I don't want to like say anything. So I think this is unique, and you know what I mean. Like we can't be like it's too unique, and then like a song that's like a bit more generic. It's too generic. Like we kind of But like I think like you could finesse this a bit to be a bit less. You know, have a theme almost. I think like the start of it sounded kind of like taiko or something, like kind of chill kind of stuff, and then it kind of goes to tech housey vibes. I think you could probably work a way to do that a bit better. Do you know what I mean?
I think maybe some more creative drum samples. I think the samples felt a little.
You could even have the drums here as like the bass, and then just add some like percussion. I think would sound nice, and maybe just like more. I always do like if like every eighth hi hat, I'll have like a bigger one come in, so it's like, and then swing it almost, and then you can add like a 16th note hi hat here and there, just to kind of have some kind of space to your drums. Keep it interesting. I think like that's the main thing. I spend 95% of my time on drums.
Oh yeah, on the drum front. Maybe some tighter samples. Maybe the clap could be tighter, or some of them could be turned down.
Yeah, I overall, did like hi-hat,
hi-hat did sound good. Overall, I think, and this could just be how your demo master or your demo mix and stuff. It did feel like everything was just a little too squashed, a little too cut off.
It was squashed a bit,
so maybe dial off the limiting, dial off the compression, dial off the saturation, dial off all of those things just a little bit. Just let that thing breathe a little more, a little bit more dynamic, a little bit more breath to it. I think especially the low end. The low end felt like it was quite limited, quite squashed, quite clipped. And so I think you could have a little bit more definition in that. It could be a little more smoother on the ears, a little less pounding at the door. But overall, man, excellent stuff.
Yeah, this is cool. I actually liked it a lot. Yeah.
Big ups, man. Yeah, that one actually made me feel something. Not a lot of people's music here today has made me.
Like I said, like,
no offense to everybody else, but that one did.
Everyone else sucks.
All right, let's do. I think it's called Matrix. And Rob, how do you say that? Robju. What do you think?
Dude, I'm Scottish. I can't pronounce words. They're the best of things.
I can hear the bass.
Now they're rolling bass line. Let's go.
That lead's cool. great. I love the attitude of this song. It feels it feels really mean. I like the writing, the vibe and the groove of it is feeling really good. I wonder if we're gonna have the exact same feedback, Darren. I bet we will.
I was just gonna say check the master because it feels like it's pushed.
Definitely, I agree. That wasn't what I was thinking of. I wonder if you.
My main advice would just be it's just that too much white noise and like stuff. I think that's quite. It's not very modern anymore. I feel like a lot of like modern tech house tracks are kind of you're not really hearing much white noise at the drop and big massive hits at the drop. It's more kind of the high end builds up and then the drops are kind of more deep. And I feel like that and the synths are quite loud and taking a lot of space. I think you could have it like a lot more tight. And
that was mostly
I would like to hear that. I'd like to hear that build up without the vocal on it as well. Like when that synth comes in, I think the vocal could just be not there and just let the synth come in and kind of build up that tension because there's so little elements going on.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. The white noise and the auxiliary stance, and I think the delay of the lead, the main lead. Dry that up. Dial back the reverb, dial back the delay, maybe even get rid of the delay. Maybe it doesn't need to be that much, or just dial it back. But I think
a lot of stuff I'm thinking about in modern tech house is kind of like that. It's kind of making it more simple, smaller, less reverb, less delay, and not as much effects. On the build up, go wild, but like on that drop, just having like everything come in on the drop is quite dated now, I think. And you don't have to do it. Like the groove is great. I would check the master to see how much you're pushing that because I feel like it's the build up is you can see it on the waveform actually how the volume's not really changing too much. But like the bass sounds cool. I like the rolling bass line.
Yeah. The bass line does sound great. I really like.
It's quite similar to Fab Massimo.
Fab Massimo, yeah, that's a good reference.
He's got like a very unique style, and I always like his songs. Very rolling, kind of.
Yeah.
He's got a very unique style, so I'll check some of his newer stuff out if you want that kind of reference.
Fab Massimo, El Turnos, they both kind of have that same style.
Yeah.
All right, Mad Lads. I love this name. My group chat in university with all my homies was also called Mad Lads. So stoked to check this one out. Okay, I have a question. These drums, are they they almost sound like Who and Why drums. I wonder if you like used some of the stems from one of the Who and Why drums. I don't know. Am I wrong? Adam, do these not sound like the drums from Nothing? Yeah, I know, bro. Okay, so folks, I know we give away the stems, but we don't necessarily give away the stems for you to use in your own songs. Like, that's not really what they're there for. I mean, you can, but that's like not really what they're there for. You're just like ripping them. Maybe if you want to steal a hi-hat, they're more out there so you can remix the songs, right? That's why they're there. Anyways, but the drums obviously sound great because they're Adams. Guys, this is a ripoff of Adam's song. It's like, sounds great. And if this is like a learning experience and you're learning how to produce, it sounds great. But stylistically, it's like a big ripoff of Adam's song. But Adam is honored. He's like, yeah, let's go. Very nice. He loves it. Adam loves it. He's stoked. He's in the chat. He's fired up. You did a really good job, though. You did it like you did a great job. Everything's sounding good. So big ups on like making it sound good. I don't have any like major feedback. What do you think, Darren?
Yeah, I think like
I'm being a little blunt here. I'm telling him how it is.
I think who, when, why's really worked hard on that track. That sounds great.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I've not heard the original. I'm so bad at listening to music.
Oh, that's okay. We put it out on Vibrancy. That's why I know.
Yeah, I don't listen to Vibrancy. That's all rubbish.
Yeah, it's all junk, man. It really is.
There's so much songs to listen to. I gave up a long time ago.
Yeah, I know, man.
My in-flight's just packed.
It's a disaster. It's a
This
disaster.
Fisher guy keeps sending me his IDs. I'm like, just get lost, mate.
Do you have
I'm not
any?
listening.
Do you have any thoughts or notes for those guys? Okay.
I think it's sounding good, but I don't know what elements are from the other song. So I'm like,
Yeah. I think they might have just used the drums, but however,
yeah, if they've just used the drums, the rest of it sounds good.
totally. However, like the bass tone that they used and the style of synths and exact are same but different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like the
Listen,
same style of bass, same style of leads. They're all kind of feeling the same.
I think the production, taking away the drums, obviously they've not been, but like I think the rest of it
It's produced
is good
well.
enough that you don't have to be.
But the rest of it is still in the same vein as the other song. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I mean. So I think like if you're good enough at producing it, I don't think there's any reason to be, using someone else's drums and ideas. You could easily make your own kind of thing, and there's no point anyway because it's not as if like, you're going to release that. So, I don't know the actual reason for doing that, but if it's too close, like you're saying, then just make something that makes you excited. And I get a lot of people when they're starting do that, but like this sounds pretty decently produced. So
yeah, exactly. Just don't, you're gonna get a lot more out of it, and you're gonna like end up writing way better music if you take the time to kind of do it all yourself. All right, let's pull up Gordon Marshall. Stoked to hear this one. Get Me in the Club. All right, Sandra sent in his tune. The better you are at copying, the better you'll be at creating. That's actually true, man. That is true.
hey, what's that thing? It's like great artists don't copy, great artists steal. There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
So actually, I'm going to go back on that feedback. That tune was excellent, and I think it should be signed.
All right, Get Me in the Club.
All my friends are models, and all of them get bottles. Never has to wait in line, 'cause you hit your phone up every time.
Hey, can you get me in the club? Hey, can you get me in the club?
All right. I think I get the groove here. What are our thoughts?
The levels are kind of a bit weird. Like the vocals are like super loud, and then the bass is quite quiet, and then the break sounded louder in the drop. But like the idea and stuff is cool. I think you just need to level it, and that's the vocals are really loud. I don't know if that's just me.
Yeah. No, I think you do have the elements. I think, yeah.
If you look at the waveform as well, it is sausage right up.
Yeah. I think you have, few things. One, referencing is going to help you tons. I think when you approach this session next time you open it, try and think of the subtle elements. How can I, finesse some of those little more subtler things, those little bits of ear candy and whatnot, that just kind of like tickle the ear holes a little bit more, versus everything being so loud and forward and big and bright and in your face. I think some of that stuff could be pushed further in the back.
He's saying the masters this shoot. If you master it yourself, then a good tip I would say is -8 dB going into the master. It doesn't matter what master you use. I use ozone for this, but I always go in at -8 or below, and I only ever go like -4 gain reduction.
Mm-hmm.
And I find, and I also put a clipper on, but that's kind of a bit more advanced. I don't know if that's something people can be bored with, but I clip my tracks just to kind of get rid of those. Because what happens is if you have like a master and you have like a really loud transient, it completely just writes the master off. So if you just clip like 40%, I find that makes you get a louder mix, but it's not squash.
What do you use for clipping?
It's inbuilt in Ozone 10. So
I don't.
Is it Ozone 10? I did Ozone 10.
G-clip.
I love that. I tried Pro L because a lot of producers use it, and I found Ozone 10 to just be better. So I used the maximizer in Ozone 10. It's got a soft clip feature.
Okay.
I would recommend that.
Yeah.
I use it at 40%, and
I should try and check out Ozone 10. I've like.
But yeah, I think a lot of
7
people don't use
reviews.
Ozone because they put it in at -6 dB, like a lot of people do, and it sounds crap. I agree. That's why I do -8. And
For
it sounds like a small thing,
LUFS? What are you talking about? DB?
dB, it's RMS, isn't it, right? So it's just peak. I'm talking peak here. So like when you're going into the master, -8 dB peak, because the way a master works is it takes the peaks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. I master all my music because I do a lot of edits, so I've been spending quite a lot of time on it.
Hell yeah.
But I find my mixes before I use Ozone 10 were a lot more squash, and now they're a bit more the same volume, but there's more dynamic range.
Definitely. And that's what you want to retain at the end of the day. You're not
and especially in the
make it
breaks.
loud. Yeah.
Especially in the breaks when you're like, if you look at this track you've got here from Gordon, I could not tell you where the break ends and starts based on that waveform.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's like a big thing. Like if I looked at one of my songs I uploaded, I could easily point out just looking at the waveform.
Yeah. And so I think a lot of it just has to do with just a little bit more dynamics between the build up and the breakdown, sort of the energy transferring moments, your sweeps, your risers, your automations, all of that on top of the master, right? So just try and think about how you can build more tension and let more release, and think about those types of things throughout the whole song, not just in the build-ups, right? Every sort of element can be sort of a building moment that carries energy from one section to another. Try and flex in on those moments, and I think you could definitely improve this track. But it's sounding great. You got a bunch of dope elements in there.
Yeah, I actually do like the track, but it's hard to be objective about it when it's so squashed. Because like for me, I don't know, but like tech house for me is always about the punchiness of the mix and stuff like that. I really want to feel when I drop that track, it's going to annihilate people on the dance floor.
Yeah.
But you know what I will say? Loving the vibe of the shot.
Dude, loving it. All right.
Yeah, big vibe there.
We're doing Burn, man. Stoked to hear this tune from Burn. Always sending in tunes, always stoked to hear.
Who, when, why? I'm going to call who, when, why Triple W from now on.
Sandra, let me
Triple
know which one we're going to listen to from yours. Unfortunately, we can't listen to two just because we can't listen to everybody. So, but just let me know which one you'd rather me pick. All right, this is Eyes Closed by Burn.
Dance with my eyes, dance with my eyes closed. Dance with my eyes, I can dance with my eyes closed. Dance with my eyes, dance with my eyes closed. Dance with my eyes, I can dance with my eyes closed. Dance with my eyes, dance with my eyes closed. Dance, I can dance with my eyes closed. Dance with my eyes, dance with my eyes closed. Dance, I can dance with my eyes
This is great.
Dance with my eyes closed. Dance with my eyes, dance with my eyes closed. Dance with my eyes, I could dance with my eyes closed.
All right. Couple elements I think you got to turn down. I want to say them before I forget. Vocal, down a little bit. Stabs, down a little bit. The other element's feeling good. I love that. That high-pitched, choppy thing is sick. What do you think?
Yeah, the idea is really cool here. I feel like the kick is getting drowned, though.
Totally.
I feel like the kick needs... Again, the kick always should at least be near the front. But I feel like it's kind of... It's way back there, and the bass is kind of swallowing it almost.
Yeah, this has a great call and response, though. I think you did a really
good
job.
I like the vibe.
The writing is really well done, I thought.
Yeah, easy fixes. Yeah, 100%. But yeah, no, I like the vibe. Again, it's not something I would. It's not my kind of genre, so I can't really go into the idea. But it sounded cool. I like the width. It sounded quite. Not everything was on top of each other. Yeah. Maybe the vocal delay I felt like was a bit too much. I always put my delays through Ascend and then EQ them quite heavily, so they're quite mid-rangey. I don't like delays that are quite high range. But I don't know if that would work in this song. It's just personal preference.
Yeah. Dude,
just kind of keeps them out of the way.
Yep.
You can still get that delay.
The other note a minor note I thought is maybe dry it out a little bit. I think some of the elements are a little wet.
100%.
All right, let's do Derek for real. Derek, I also know you sent 2 here. I just kind of picked one of them. I hope that's cool. We're only going to do one. This one's called Take Me There. Let's give her a... Writing is great. I think we can talk a little bit about some production stuff. Let me just skip ahead a little bit, see if this progresses a little more. Pretty similar. Okay, I'll let Darren take it away first, but great writing.
Yeah, like I think like the main thing I was seeing was the bass was quite wide, which for me, maybe it's a personal thing, but I really like mono basses. And then like if you have to maybe go for like a kind of wider element, I used for one of the first times a wide bass on a track I just put on SoundCloud of the Fake Idea that, but I like had a mono bass and then chorus on it, but it was like 30-40%.
That's usually the move. Take it mono and then just like a little bit. I use the not the dimension, but the hyper on Serum. Just that.
Yeah, that's good as well.
Subtly. I think it's like an easier chorus that works well on basses. What I'm hearing on this, not to cut you off, Darren, but what
No.
I feel like he's got a few layers here on that bass. Like I think there's probably like a sub and a couple other mid-range layers and stuff. I feel like you're probably gonna have a much better shot at having a clearer sound here if you clean that up. Try and just have as few instances of synths as you can. You know, I'd say 9 times out of 10, all my songs usually only have one synth doing all the bassline work. And if there's another synth, it's just adding sort of like high-end texture, or maybe some more like mid-rangey stuff, but it's not doing much. You know,
the only time I'll have like
coming from one.
No time I'll have a second synth is just a dedicated sub, but you can definitely just get away with one. It just depends. Sometimes for me, I use two. Sometimes I use one. I just see how it sounds. So if you actually have a bass and you cut like 100 hertz, I usually cut 60 and below for my sub, but like, it changes the sound of the bass completely. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad.
Yeah,
you know,
isn't that funny? That's definitely one that
it changes a massive amount.
Yeah, that's definitely one thing.
But just going back to the two edits I put, one of the edits I have two sub and a bass, and the other one I have just a bass. And if you can work out which is which, then I think that's very impressive. But I wouldn't have like 4 or 5. I used to do that, and it's not good. The more complexity you add to it. One thing I used to not do as well was in Serum, when you're making a bass, you want to have the phase knob down so it doesn't phase and change the sound of it when you're making tech house. I never used to do that, and that was a massive thing when I found out how much that tightens up your bass line. So that can be a tip as well. It's just the phase knob will be automatically all the way to the right. And what that means is every time it hits, it'll sound different slightly because it'll be hitting at different phases on the wave. But if you put that to 0, it'll hit exactly the same fade every time, and that makes your bass line really tight. Especially if it's tech house where you want the sub to be very, hitting the same notes and hitting the same way. Because like if you're in the club and your bass is going up and down volume and changing frequencies, then people are going to not want to dance as much because it's going to sound all over the place.
Yeah, dude, great work, great stuff, great writing. I think let me just give it one more listen.
Actually, I just realized I did use 3 sounds.
I think the drums are feeling a little loud, a little like the clap and the hat and stuff. I think some of that stuff could be pushed back a little bit. I don't think the bass needs as much of that mid-range chunk, and I think you'll be able to hear it a little bit more when you push those drums back further too. And the kick, maybe you could scoop out some of the mid-highs from it too. But overall,
do you know? I find this is a hack. I'm telling you right now. This is something I found out is scooping 500 hertz, not too much, in quite a high Q. If you do that on like the bass, sometimes I do it on the kick on almost every song, and I don't know. Try it, anyone that's listening, and just see if it sounds better. I do it on my kicks all the time, and it makes you just fit the track more. Sometimes there's too much mids and a lot of elements. But yeah, I find myself doing that almost every track now. Yeah. Just 500 hertz and sometimes 1,000 hertz as well. Can be really helpful. I don't know why. It just works.
It just works.
Yeah, I don't have the intrinsic reason it works. It just does. For me, anyway.
For you. Let's give Soundhaven a rinse. This one's called Sip Sippy Sip.
Okay, keep sipping on it. It's okay, keep sipping on it.
Wait, let's go back here.
Keep sipping on it. Don't you wanna take a sip? I know you can't afford the tip. This right here's expensive shit. It's okay, keep sipping on it. Don't you wanna take a sip? I know you can't afford the tip. This right here's expensive shit. It's okay, keep sipping on it. Don't you wanna take a sip? I know you can't afford the tip. This right here's expensive shit. It's okay, keep sipping on it. 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 It's okay, keep sipping on it.
All right, this is cool.
Yeah.
I dig the vibe. What are your Darren? You go ahead.
Yeah, right. Listen.
Listen.
First of all, that vocal is too loud, but please turn that down because it's actually quite cool. But that race stab it comes in, that's your track, right? That rave sample is your track, so it doesn't feel like you're giving it any love before the drop because it feels like it came out of nowhere.
That's
I think,
it, man.
Yeah, you have to like bring that in earlier, tease it and then build it up. A lot of music production, you have to be kind of boring, I feel. Do you know what I mean? You have to almost be like, this is going to come in at the drop. Here's 16 bars to build it up, right? You need to let people know. People are kind of stupid, right? And if it just comes out of nowhere, it's going to catch everyone off surprise. It sounds good.
Sorry, played it for a second.
No, it sounds cool, and I think build your entire track around that and have that as the main sauce. And to go with that, I think the bass could be muted a bit. It's a bit kind of cutting into the mids.
I think
with the rave style.
Mitchell says this sounds familiar. Can't think of the song. It reminds me of. It kind of reminds me of this. It reminds me of a handful of songs because it's just.
I'm certain
stabs.
that Rave Stab is a splice sample, so it's probably being used on our song.
Oh, dude, and all rave stabs are all just samples, man.
Yeah. I just mean like that. That's a loop.
Yeah.
So, which is fine. Like, I've not heard a big song with that loop, so you can use it if you want. Like Noizu has what's that song called? Revival? I can't remember.
Yeah, dude.
It's just a splice sample.
I know. I heard that recently, and I was like, "Wow, you guys really phoned it in on that one."
Yeah, yeah. But like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're on the dance floor, or you're getting 1 million plays on Spotify, who cares? Just do it.
Yeah. Oh, it's their own vocal. The vocal's
Just-
sick. Big ups on that. I think.
Yeah, the vocal does sound. What I was going to say is the vocal sounds cool, but it's way too loud. And what was I going to say? It's mono, so I think you could also don't widen it, but send it to a width kind of thing and make it wide. You can use microshift if you have it. It's really good. Or you can use the Hass effect or whatever. But yeah, I think that rave stab, like, you could almost like have it in the build up on its own and just have everyone come around that, and it would sound huge when it drops. But it's too much for the lead to just bring in out of nowhere almost.
That's it. Hey, I want to let Sandro know. Sandro, we've been doing these demo streams for a while. You were the 1,000th person to submit a demo.
Oh shit! You won a car. Well, you win the first VIBRANCY car,
dude. I can't. You win a car.
Yeah, it's coming from Cloverdale's own collection. He doesn't have a car anymore. I hope you're happy.
You get a 2016 Mazda CX-5.
There we go.
Filled with Lenny hair.
Yeah, with 70,000 miles, it's probably
130,000, please.
Holy shit, you drive, dude. That's crazy.
No, we bought it with 90. Let's please.
Holy shit. I've got my car's 2015, and I have 61,000, I think.
Are you talking miles, though? I'm talking kilometers.
Oh, shit, you're on a kilometers type beat.
Yeah, kilometer type beat. All right.
Shit.
Who,
I think that's like 130,000 kilometers. It's got to be like 3 billion miles, I think.
Should we pull up Adam's song? I think it's with these Legacy guys. Is that what it is? No, it's just.
That's weird that someone from North America is using kilometers and I'm European using miles. That shows how dumb the UK is.
Yeah.
We do.
Oh, yo, I've used this vocal before. I should show you the song after that I've used this vocal.
Oh shit, it's Triple W. That's a cool logo. I've not seen that before.
I do drugs.
Cool.
Yeah.
I like how dark this one is.
Yeah, the warehouse vibes are here.
Sasha Troy, what is your name? I'll take a look. I should have.
Drugs.
Yeah, this is great. Fruits, I see you there, bro.
I do drugs.
Dude, Adam, I don't have many notes, man. You really do such a great job. I'm always excited to hear your new tunes. I think that one was really, really, really well done.
But it's like got a warehousey techno vibe. I really like that. I like the it's all sort of the reverb and stuff. That's what I was saying about other tracks. It's like if you're gonna have reverb, you need to have the room for it, and that shows why, because it's so huge that it takes up all this space, and it creates a space. So like there's drums high, bass low, and then this whole part for the reverb. That sounds sick. My only advice for that would just to be add some more. You can add some more mids to that drum, like the hi-hat, because it's kind of, because there's so little elements in the mids, you could really get those drums to take up a lot more space and really have it kind of come in. But that's a sick track.
Sasha, I don't see your tune. You may want to submit it again just via the link in the link tree. It's for the demo stream. Maybe you submitted it on something else, but I'm just not seeing it here.
We need to peep the second drop as well of the triple W song.
Sorry, I already loaded a new link. I just wanted to show Adam the vocal, this version that I did with the same vocal. We used it very similarly. It's hilarious.
Alright, again, but a bit louder. Bit louder. Bit louder.
See how we used it very similarly?
Bit louder.
Dude, what genre is this?
I don't know. What is it?
What genre? Yeah, it's like kind of like garage breaks.
Listen to this bit.
Alright, again, but a bit louder. Bit louder. Bit louder.
Anyways, I don't know. I don't know what
That's
that
a
was.
proper geezer track, isn't it?
Giza.
Proper geezer.
I've lost our spreadsheet. I've lost our
Oh
spreadsheet.
god, it's all wrong. We've lost Sandra's car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sandro, let's pull up.
This is the
Sandra's
end.
tune.
This is the end of Vibrancy as we know it.
Sandro, we'll pull up. No, wait. I said Proots. Proots been here for a minute. Let's pull up Proots.
Oh, we need to check the second drop of the track first.
Of Adam's track. Oh my gosh. Bro.
Yeah.
No one else got their second drop.
Yeah, we need the second drop. Listen to it.
Oh my god! Wow!
Yeah, he's just annoyed he hasn't won that car.
Just annoyed.
I do drugs.
Here's my advice. I think that lead that you introduced there, it's really cool. I think you do that for a couple bars and then do like a column response. Do, and then something else, and then something else, and then back and forth. I think there's just some room to kind of progress that a little further.
I want to hear that drier or a shorter reverb, so like we can keep the big warehousey reverby vibes coming back in. You could even have like it really up front for like 8 bars and then just kind of cut it out really quick. Is the second drop cool enough? Yeah, I would say it get a bit more in your face, maybe.
Boots! Dirty Sexy.
Oh shit.
turn the bass down a little bit. A little bit.
Sexy, dirty.
All right, cool tune. Very, very cool tune. I think it's got most of the parts. What do you think?
Yeah, I like the bass. It's quite catchy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe a bit quieter. Maybe the kick can be a bit more. Even I don't usually suggest this. Maybe more side chain on it.
Yeah.
Like kind of old school side chain where that kind of like proper like I think it would sound quite interesting, but it might sound shit. So, but I think it's cool. The execution can be a bit better, but I think the idea is interesting.
Dude, definitely.
I think the bass just takes a bit too much room right now.
I think the bass takes up a little bit too much room. I think it doesn't need to be as much of the star of the show, right? I think it's going to do its work, just pushed a little bit far back. I think it's kind of like stealing the thunder from some of the other stuff. So push that back a little bit more. Maybe like once you do that, some other mixed things might become apparent. You know, maybe you'd be like, oh, wow, now that I've turned that down, I can actually turn some of this other stuff down. It'll all start to feel a little bit more balanced. Sometimes when you have one element that's just offending super loud, that's just like crazy, crazy, crazy loud, then you start to turn up other elements. You start to turn up your hi-hat. You start to turn up your clap and all this stuff. All of a sudden, your whole mix is out of whack because you had one element that you were just trying to compensate for. And so I think maybe by turning that bass down, everything may make a little bit more sense. Yeah. Big ups. Big ups. Who are we missing? Okay, roll call. If you've been here for a minute and in the chat and you've been chatting away and you're still here and you're still waiting on your song, let us know right now. Start in the chat. Let us know. In the meantime, I'm going to pull up. We're going to pull up Sandra's tune.
Sandra's car. He's going to be pulling up in his new car.
Mike Dices. Is your name Mike Dices? Okay, cool. Got you. Nolan. Got you. Hey, Hippie Habitat, still here. I'll load you up too, bro. I saw your name earlier and I was hoping you were still around. Sandra, this is dope shit, bro. Damn. Wow. Bro, this is great. this little switch up section. That's cool. The width on those hats and stuff is excellent too. Really, really cool work. I want to hear this build up bit. It's actually insane. It's insane because I've literally, I remember when Sandro literally was putting his first couple of kicks down, his first kick and his first clap and stuff, and now hearing this song, I'm like, what the fuck? How did this happen? How'd you get so good so quickly? Like a year and a bit, maybe a couple of years. Anyways, it's sounding awesome.
Yeah, there's like I think it's like percussion on top of the bass or something that's kind of making it a bit less deep. I think you should get rid of that and make the bass like really deep and kind of. I don't know what it is. You listen to the first bit again. It's like
what I want to hear is parts with less drums. I want to have.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's the most crazy thing Cloverdale's ever said. Parts with less drums.
I know. I want just a little bit more tension and release, some more build ups, some more drops. I feel like this one kind of just like stayed flat in there. I felt like we were
Yeah.
All the elements are awesome. I think it's just more the arrangement. Have more moments where you're building up that tension and then releasing, building up that tension. More like rising elements, more automation, more sweeps, more
and you
pauses,
don't have to do like a
fills.
full break to do that. You can do it like at the last 4 bars.
Exactly.
I do a thing like where I'll do like a 1 bar and then I'll do a 2 bar and then I'll do a 4 bar build up. Does that make sense? And then I just kind of put that throughout this track, and then like, oh, this section's got a bit boring, I can do the 1 bar. And then like next section I'll do 2 bars. And then for the final section I'll do 4 bars. And then I go into the break in the middle. And if you just think about that, like every single time your track's getting a bit like after 8 bars are pretty much you want to kind of have like a little, element that comes in. Like it could be a fill, it could be a synth, it could be a riser for like a few seconds, it could just be like a white noise sweep or like some reverb coming in. But just having like those elements really, it just brings you back into the song, Jimmy. Yeah. And I think that's something I always kind of think about is once I have the idea down, just keeping it interesting.
Keeping it interesting. All right, we're gonna do. I have everybody marked here who is chatting. We're gonna do Mike Dice's up next. Sandro, man, awesome work. Thanks for sending it. I'm like, keep them coming. Like, dude, you're on a roll now. You're on a roll.
All right. Yeah, it's a great song. New car.
Move this, shake that. Going so hard, you will break that. Move this,
Mike Dice's.
shake that. Move this, shake that. Once you put it down, no take backs. Move this, shake that. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on. Move this, shake that. I give a break that.
Woo.
I give a break that. Come on, come on. Come on, come on. Oh my God.
Okay, that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I like it. There's a groove there. There's a motif.
Yeah,
I'm feeling it.
Percussion's cool, but it is too loud.
Too
It's just-
loud.
But that's like the simplest fix of all time. Reduce that by like a few dB, 3,
Yep,
4.
the-
I don't know.
I agree. I thought those perks were too loud. They stuck out a little bit. I also thought that they sounded great in the first section, and then the second section you introduced another perk loop, and I felt like once that other perk loop came in, it was too busy. Too many perk
Yeah, you don't need
things.
it anymore. Like that perk clip was thick.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed the vibe on this one for sure. I think you
Yeah,
did a
you
really
could probably get like away with like if you're gonna bring in some more perks like bells or like claves, just something that's gonna.
Tambourines, maybe something.
Yeah,
different.
did I love a tambourine? I always learn my shakers tambourines, like very, very subtly, but like
Oh,
just
yeah.
that kind of a very, very high pitch you get like with the tambourine.
Tambourines are the secret sauce for sure.
Yeah,
Maybe he
that
introduces one. I don't know. I like the vocal on it too.
The bass is cool.
Overall, the mix is pretty solid on this. I think just bring down some of that perky stuff. I think maybe the kick could use maybe a little bit more of a top kick, a little bit more transient on it.
Yeah, top kicks go hard. Like that's something that's so slept on. But like top kicks are like huge for groove. Because it's part of your like upper range. It's not actually part of your kick. It's part of your groove in your drums.
Mm-hmm.
You can get away with like I use operator quite a lot. Just white noise, and you can dial in exactly with a band pass where you want your top kick to be, and you can dial in exactly how much release, how much attack, and you just get the perfect top kick every time.
Wow, look at you go. Do you know what I do? I just find another kick and just
I'm not gonna lie. I made overnight. I just grabbed Mark Knight top loops.
All right, Hippie Habitat. Let's check what you're up to, bro. I'm curious. I'm stoked to check out your tunes. I don't know if I've heard too many. So let's go. Work my body, bro. Let's run it. Woo! You hear that tambourine in there? Great automation on the bass. You can really feel it progressing along the way. Second drop goes hard.
Work my body, work my body.
Yeah, it does.
Work my body, work my body.
This is sounding good. This is sounding great. Okay. I have some general thoughts, but like overall, man, like you have a pretty solid concept here. I think you got all the stuff. It's got a bunch of energy, and what you kill it at is like the automations and keeping the energy moving from section to section and that sort of thing, and that's like half the battle, half the time. So big ups, man. Big ups.
Yeah.
What do you think, Darren?
I like the bass tone. I think it sounds really cool. It may be a bit missing on the sub in the lower bass, but I think the tone really sounds good.
Yeah, tone does.
I really liked it. It was almost like an acidy kind of sound, but like kind of.
I felt like the kick could maybe be a little bigger.
I
No?
think the kick might have been clipping. If you listen to the start, I think I think you need to check the master there.
Yeah,
I
maybe
don't know if
that's
it's just the sound. It does sound clipping, but I don't know if that's intentional. But the master is loud. That song was loud,
yeah. Maybe
very squashed, and I
maybe
think like
dial back on the loudness of that.
yeah, I think like for a lot of people, I don't want to say insecurity. I don't. That sounds bad, but I just mean like you don't have to go as hard with the loudness, and
If you're
everything
getting up
being
to like minus
so loud and
minus
pushed.
7 LUFS, if you can get up to -7,
Yeah,
then like
yeah. I'm
don't
always sitting
worry about
between.
getting into the 6s too much, you know.
Yeah, and like the thing is, like a lot of my mixes hit -5, but they're not squashed. Well, I hope they're not. I think Dance Me hits -4, but
Wow.
I don't think that's too squashed. I think that's just a high octane energy, you know, coming through.
But some other tunes that I think, some other tricks I think you could apply to that track. I think you could pay a little bit closer attention to some sample selection. I saw in the chat that the clap was mentioned. I didn't think the clap was horrible, but maybe like something that was maybe a little duller, a little smaller. I think the hat was probably the one thing that I felt you could really just like swap out. It felt like a little harsh, a little crispy. I don't know if you're doing much like group processing on those drums, but maybe like dial back some of like the saturation and distortion and stuff on the hat. And I said the kick has distortion on it. I would take that off. You don't need to really distort the kick.
Yeah, it's not necessary.
Keep it nice and clean, and you'll end up with a stronger sound for sure. But like overall, bunch of energy on it. Big ups. I think referencing like sample selection in particular, you really pay attention to like the characteristics of another person's sample. Be like, okay, are they using like a really harsh sounding hi-hat, a really bright one, a really not, like, you know, whatever.
You know what you can do as well is this is cheat code for everyone is I used to do this like a year ago. I took like maybe like 10 tracks I like the drums of with different kind of drums, and I just took the first drum loop and I just used that in tracks to start off an idea. Just to kind of get an idea, like, because like drums take a while, right? So if you have like a drum loop made by John Summit, or you know, someone like Dom Dollar, or someone
like Who and Why,
yeah, someone like
Darren
someone
After.
not Cloverdale though, he
Definitely
sucks.
no.
And definitely not Cloverdale, dude. Oof, jeez, if you want to know how to not make a song. But if you start with like a drum loop like that and you make the rest of the song, and then just all you need to do is go, all right, now just make the drums, and then you have a reference for the drums as well, and you can change, like, you know what I mean? I used to have 10, I think there were different songs. Like I think I had like a Fisher one and a Johnson one, all this, and you can just put your bass and your kick, you cut the low end of the drum loop, and then you can make a song and be like, oh yeah, right, all I need to do is now make drums as good as John Summit, and that's easy.
All right,
but it's like a quick way to start a song. Life hack.
Yeah. All right, this one's called OnlyFans by On Mars. Pretty sweet. Okay, this is pretty solid. I think like structure wise and song wise, it's sounding all right. Little generic, but it's all right. What do you think?
Yeah, I liked it. I think like the bass stabs in it were quite interesting. I'm not sure if like the percussion loop fits the song. I don't know. Like for me, if it almost feel like I always associate percussion with more kind of Latin house and
I thought
kind
it
of vibe.
worked.
This felt almost.
I kind of liked
it almost,
that one.
Yeah.
We're
I
disagreeing.
don't know.
Wow.
Well,
No,
you're
I'm
wrong.
kidding.
No, I'm joking. Yeah, no, I don't know. It probably does work. It's just for me, my head always goes to kind of more groovy, and that kind of felt almost. I don't know if it was bass housey, but
I know what you mean. Yeah,
kind of in
yeah.
that vein. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it sounds good. It sounds fine to me. Like I actually did think, and like I like the master for once. This is good mix. You can see the dynamic range coming into the drop.
I thought you could get rid of some of the mids on the bass.
yeah.
The bass felt a little muddy to me. I feel like that could be maybe cleaned up. Maybe dial back the distortion or the saturation or some of the compression. Dial some of that back stuff.
That's where it's San Pacho. I was like, this sounds similar to something.
Yeah, there we go.
It doesn't sound like a rip-off though, so don't worry about that.
Yeah, don't worry. I wouldn't have said that this sounds like a San Pacho song. So
Yeah.
don't worry.
But yeah, I thought it was quite cool.
Yeah. No, I like.
But I have such a bad memory. We listen to these, I'm like immediately forget the song, and I'm like, the bass. You're like the clap was too loud. This, I'm like, I don't remember the song.
We could listen again. Right?
Like, give us a drop again.
I think it's that first bass hit. Whatever you have on there, it's just feeling a little big, a little chunky. I think
I think the bass pull the cut off down and just make it less mid-rangey, because then when that bass hit comes in, the mid-range comes in and it goes back to deep. The bass line, not the bass stab. So the bass line, just pull that down and make it deep, like properly deep.
The bass, yeah, the bass stab. There must be another one. Yeah, there's a bass stab. So
Yeah, the stab hits at the start of each bar, I think, or every few.
Yeah.
Something
Very sick though.
No, that's a good song.
Yeah. Who do we got?
If I
Who
could
do we
remember.
got next? I think we have Tactic. I don't know if you're still here. Let me know if you're still here.
Does Legacy have a song? Because they're sick.
Yeah, they have a song with Who Am I, but I actually am not. I'm looking through it now. I'm trying to find it.
Where is it? Give us the sauce. Because their last song was dope. I really liked that song.
Yeah, throw that
Have
in
you heard
again.
that song?
I don't know if I have. Legacy, Who Am I?
It's just type in Legacy on SoundCloud. If you check out their latest song,
Ooh, Tactic. You got to resubmit, dude, because the link you sent is not the private link. Legacy. I don't see their submission in here unless they submitted on the actual page.
No, but this song that they done, I fuck with this a lot. I've sent it on Zoom or whatever the fuck we're on. Are we on Zoom?
Yeah, we're chatting on Zoom.
That's not sponsored.
We'll pull it up in a second. I'm gonna pull up Sasha Troy. He also sent one. I'll pull that tune up in a bit, but Legacy, you gotta resubmit. All right, Sasha Troy. Hey, stunned. We have it. I'll pull you up next. I'll pull you up here in a bit. I see yours here. We got you, Ben. Ooh, I like that little fake out there. That was sick. Kick and bass are feeling pretty well balanced here.
Turn the lights out. Turn the
Mix on this is great.
turn the lights out.
Woohoo! Song's so simple, but it's hitting all the right spots.
Oh shit, the steel drum.
Don't like that synth as much that's coming in there. the mix on this is excellent. Really,
But this has
really,
got some
really solid.
Cloverdale vibes.
Maybe that's why I love it, man.
Yeah, it's just the best of all time. Like, yeah, it's just Cloverdale. He's just listening to music again. I liked it. The steel drum needs to go. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be clear.
I didn't really like it that either.
I love steel drum as an instrument, but it's not for this. I don't think it needs to be either.
Yeah, this song is really solid though. I think the mix is excellent. I think it could use a couple little more like memorable moments a little bit.
Yeah. It could definitely like something that's gonna be gonna remember it because I think
It is
like 90% of the track here.
Yeah, it is a little vanilla, but like overall, like quality stuff. I love the little turnarounds and fills and stuff. I'm a real sucker for those. I don't have too many notes. I really don't, because I think you can just like flex on it more, or maybe swap out that lead. I think both of us didn't really like the lead.
I think the bass could be a bit like it's quite stabby and short. I think it could just be like a little bit more open, maybe on the filter, not the filter, but like the envelope,
the release.
It almost feels like it's kind of
it's too short.
Kind of being a bit yeah. Just I think you could get a bit more sound coming out of it. It sounds like it's kind of a bit too gated almost.
I disagree.
Yeah, there it's fine, but like at the very start of the drop,
Yeah.
I thought it sounded a bit short.
That's the same one. Oh, there's Legacy. I saw Legacy submitted. Okay, we're gonna pull up Tactic, Stunned, Legacy, in that order.
Oh, and that should be us, I think.
Yeah, that's it. And then which
then
one?
Chloe gets a shot off all the techno that he's been.
Talk about people sounding like Sampacho. This kind of already this.
Yeah, that's very Sampacho. Like that synth on the drop.
That bit sounds so much like Sampacho. It's crazy. I don't even know.
Yeah, that is kind of.
This is cool. I'm into it. I'm digging the vibe. I'm trying to think of how you can like improve on this. How you can kind of like make this better and I think it could be like the sweeps and the energy and
faster, right?
And maybe the drums could be fatter too.
And just like a bit, everything needs kind of a bit more full.
It needs to be driven a little more. It just feels like it's not like doesn't have the oomph.
It could just be.
The writing's great, yeah.
It was just more better. Sorry, it's like the worst advice.
Bro, just make it better, please. No, I'm kidding. It's good. No, it is.
We don't know. It's good. It could be better.
We're on hour 2.5. But let me listen. Let me listen again. I will give you some.
Here's the worst feedback of all time.
Maybe there in the second part you could have some shakers come in, something that's doing something on the 16th.
I find a lot of people miss out on their hi-hat being a bit too thin. I think you could really fatten up the hi-hat with like a nice 909 right in there.
Adam has a good point. He said more drums that are syncopated. So what he means by syncopated, because that just means drums that aren't necessarily always playing the same groove. They're playing a different rhythm and that are also hitting a lot on like the 16th note or like the offbeats or in the gaps in between where your offbeat hi-hat is and where your kick is, in between those. That's kind of where you can fill in those little syncopated elements.
Yeah, you could do that with like different percussion hits to make it really sound wild.
Wild.
I think like also on the drop that it is too San Pancho. It's almost like even like the kind of fill into the drop sounds very similar to him. I think that it's too on the nose.
One sec. Him and I want to pull this up. Him and I worked on a collab like last year. We never finished it. But I almost think it has that same thing in it. One sec.
He wants us to check the last drop as well.
It kind of does. No, I shouldn't. This is like shitty and old. And wait, I will pull it up though, because it does almost have that very similar sound. It's hilarious. I just pasted the same link. Never mind. We're done here. We're moving on. We're doing stunned. I wrote a song years ago with this vocal. It was like one of the first Cloverdale songs that ever had this vocal in it. So
because it's one beat in as shit.
It's feeling a little loud. I think you could turn that vocal down.
Can't play no games inside my section. It's getting dark, I feel the tension. Don't have me move, don't even mention. That boy, that fake water retention. Can't play no games inside my session. It's getting dark, I feel the tension. I feel the tension. Don't have me move, don't even mention. I feel the tension. Can't play no games inside my session. Inside my session. It's getting dark, I feel the tension. I feel the tension. I feel the.
All right, this is good. I think there's a bit too much going on in the mid range. It's very mid range heavy. Thoughts, Darren?
Yeah. Again, I'm gonna say the master is too pushed.
Yeah.
It's kind of a recurrent theme, and I don't want to set too much time on that. But yeah, the rest of the song's quite cool. Well, I like interesting elements.
There are a lot of interesting. I think you could just push some of that stuff back. I think push some of the brass back, push some of the reverb back.
Again, like
focus a lot more on like the kick, the bass, the drums. Make those shine. Everything else is just auxiliary.
Yeah, I feel like again, another kind of theme tonight is like a lot of people are kind of
too busy
phoning it in. Not phoning it in. I don't mean that, but like just kind of make the bass and the drums, and then going right, and then spending more time on having all these sounds and stuff coming in. And like that might be your vibe, but like for me, like my personal feedback would be like that should be secondary to the groove of the drums, the bass, and
yeah.
I think if that groove isn't right on it and it's like making people get going and rattle people's chests with the low end, all this kind of stuff on top doesn't really matter. It's like I've been at loads of shows and heard songs that are cool, but like if the low end isn't hitting, then it just doesn't vibe right. It's kind of.
Yeah, I think
you're just like
I think this is a great concept for a tune. Push some of that stuff back, less busy, focus far more on like what's gonna make this song really dancey. You want people to get up and dance and move. Make it
Yeah.
really, 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 really dancey and focus on that. Hone in on that. The synths and stuff are cool, but they're auxiliary. You know, push.
I feel like it just gets. I don't know if there's swing on this, but there could be more. And like, I swing everything. I don't swing 8th notes, but like I swing every 16th note.
Yeah, 16th.
Bass, drums. I even swing vocals sometimes if it's kind of like a vocal that's
definitely.
percussive. Not like a vocal that's singing, but like a vocal that's percussive and repeating. I've swung that. I'll swing synths. I'll swing everything that's not a kick, a clap, or a hat, essentially.
Sick. Okay.
And sometimes I'll do. You can do a thing where you like do double kicks. You can swing the offbeat kick, and that makes a whole fucking recipe for like stuff you can swing.
Cha.
Swing, and Lord and Master in the swing.
Darren, do you have any ideas you want to share? I'm going to pull up this Who Am I and Legacy tune right now. We're going to listen to that, and then you and
I can send you one that is pretty funny, but
yeah, you and I can share some ideas at the end. And
yeah, I want let's
then
reverse and get feedback from chat.
Yeah, then we'll move on. If there's anybody here that has been here from the beginning and that I've missed, let me know. Unfortunately, if you've submitted in the last 10-15 minutes, we're gonna call it right now. But yeah, let us know. Who Am I and Legacy? Yeah, this is it.
I think.
I need your assistance.
Whoa. This is cool.
I need your assistance.
I don't even know how you do this.
I need your assistance. I need your assistance.
This is great.
I need your assistance. I need your assistance.
You guys are so creative, man. So cool. I don't think I've heard a song like that before, man. Like that's
No, I really like the tone bass, but
I have no notes.
My only feedback would just be the tone bass. I want to hear it more. I want to hear maybe saturate it or just boost the mids or something. I just want to that for me is like the track. I like that the low end there, and I don't know if it's just coming through this, but yes, that's why I hear it more. Maybe like parallel compress, parallel saturate.
Yeah.
But like that, I really like the vibe, and it's unique, and
it's so cool.
The builds go pretty hard.
Yeah, I thought it was really well done, really creative, really fresh. I always like Adam's music though. I always think it's so cool.
Yeah.
And big up Legacy, guys. Like that seems sick.
Yeah,
Okay.
Legacy are sick.
I'm
I've not heard much of their tracks, but I heard their latest song, and it's really good. I actually really like that song.
And it's really good. Raving
Yeah.
review. All right, we got
And it's good.
Luscious Lou, and then I see Ghetto Birds as well. Fred, what's up in the chat? Good to see ya. All right, so we'll load up this one, and then we'll load up Ghetto Birds. We're getting there. Sorry, I'm skipping through this giant minute. Is the master squash, Darren? A little bit.
What's that, sorry?
This is cool. This vocal's timeless, man. I've always loved this vocal.
Yeah. That bass is very loud.
Yeah, I think the bass in the sub is just a bit too loud. I think it's kind of overpowering a lot of the track. I think if you just turn that down, if you want the bass to feel louder, open up the filter a little more, right? I think right now the bass is quite subby, and so you're probably overcompensating, turning it up really loud because you feel like you can't hear it. But in reality, it's just too subby. So just open up the filter a little bit, give it a little bit more mid range, and turn the whole thing down. And I don't know if there's even like two basses going on, or maybe a bass and a sub. Whatever's happening in the low end, there's too much of it. I think you can just dial that back a bit. And you have any other thoughts there, Darren?
Yeah, just like a lot of reverb and stuff. Kind of taking a lot of room. Maybe just kind of dial that back. A good thing to do about reverb is if you have a synth, make it dry, send it to a reverb, and then sidechain it against itself. Mm-hmm. That's like a classic. But yeah, the master's not the worst, but it's not great. It is quite sausage, but I think that's also because the bass is so loud. What's going to happen is your bass is going to hit your master and it's going to completely chunk it out of fucking existence. So that would fix a lot if you could lower that bass. I don't know if you're in Ableton, but I always try and keep my bass like minus 10 dB RMS. But that's not a strict rule. Depends on the kick, the vibe, the bass.
The bass.
Yeah.
But awesome tune, man. I really enjoyed the vibe. I love the very epic build up. I think you really did a great job of kind of capturing the vibe of the song, and really creating something special. So I think a little bit more attention to some of the mixed stuff, and you're well on your way. All right, last one. Ghetto Birds. Then we're listening to a song from Darren. Then we'll listen to a song from myself, I guess, and we'll call her there. Okay, we're almost at hour 3, so we're getting through them. Ghetto Birds, Signal. Let's check it out.
There's no signal in the club. I can never get enough. There's no signal in the club, the club, the club, the club, the club, sub, yeah, too much sub.
Ooh, okay.
There's no signal in the club, There's no signal in the club, There's no signal in the club, There's no signal in the club,
This is really cool. I think there's some cool parts of it. Darren, you go first. I have a few.
I liked
notes, but
I really liked the fact that the lead was like mono and then the bass was wide. Like
very neat.
Usually sort of way around, don't get me wrong, but like that sounded cool. I thought that was good. So you can hear both and they're not clashing each other. That was good.
Yep.
My notes would be the drums were a bit washy. They could be like so much tighter. I think like spend a lot more time on like really dialing in sample choice. Like make it, don't just take the first hi-hat you find, like really go through it and get them nice and like you know, get one hi-hat left, one hi-hat right. Don't overdo it, but like get that. I want those drums like when they come in, I want to feel them coming in. It kind of felt it came in or just a bit.
I thought this was
there.
My only notes, there's just a few things in here that I don't think you need that are kind of like tech house cliches and tropes that you kind of have been overdone. I think like the lasers, boo 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 boo, just ditch them. You don't need them. They've been in a million songs. They've been overdone. Some of the white noise sweeps and some of the exhausts and psh, psh, boo 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 boo, all those sounds that your brain just instinctively is like, yes, I got to put that in the song because they're in every song. You know, those are the things. Maybe try to think of other elements that achieve the same effect or achieve the same thing, but aren't necessarily just like either lasers or white noise sweeps or whatever, right? Try to think of things that can fill those spaces that aren't necessarily.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, it actually detracts from your song. Like, putting them in might sound better at the time because it adds more, but like it actually detracts from it because it takes you out of the song. Because you go, oh, not again, lasers, Jimmy.
Yeah, that's kind of my thoughts. I think you
and
have
like
something really
any
strong.
labels just these days it's just going to be like just based on that will not accept the song. Like it's as simple as that. Unless the song is, you know, the next big hit. That it could make or break your song.
Yeah, lasers are out.
Lasers are out. And, crickets are in.
Crickets, man. All right.
No one's accepting your song if it's not got crickets in it.
Darren,
it's not happening.
Is this what we're listening to?
I'm not sure. This is not good. I mean, play it because it's funny.
Okay. Should I play it this weekend?
Yes. I've got like some originals, but I thought I'd send that as a joke.
Why does it?
It's not like a joke.
It wants my identity. Why? Why is this linked?
What's your identity? Did I scamming you? Am I stupid? Did I linked it wrong?
No, I think I just opened it wrong. It opened right on.
Opened it wrong.
It opened right on Chrome, but when I did it on Safari, it didn't work.
Mine just says save it later, but you just close that and you can play it.
Oh, and I think I just I messed something up.
Yeah, Dropbox sucks, but this gets copyright hit on SoundCloud, so
I kind of messed it up.
Yeah, if you just hit close on that, it'll play.
Oh, there we go. Here we go.
I will preface this and saying I made this an hour.
Oh my god.
If you don't play this at the weekend, I don't think I actually spent enough time timing this vocal.
That part's boring, Darren. You could do better. The rest of it's sick, though. This is a cool one. This is a cool tune for sure.
I made that an hour just as like, I was at the golf range and I heard that song and I was like, I'm going to go home and make an edit of that, and I did, and then I felt like I probably shouldn't have.
I like this. Side Piece has a version of this one. I like this one more, though. I like yours.
Yeah, I've not heard it. It's probably better. But,
No, I like yours more. I'd play yours out first. Theirs
Really?
is a little. I think it just like fits the. It's yours. You've re-chopped up the verse and how you got into the pre-drop and then it goes back into the dun, dun, dun. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
How you've rearranged the song. Theirs, I think, sticks a little.
Yeah,
bit
I was like, I think like teasing that at the start, because like a lot of times if you just the main part of the song is that bump 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 bump, right? So you need to tease it. You can't just give it away.
Yeah. Exactly.
If we have time, I do have an actual ID.
An
that I would like
actual?
feedback on. Yeah.
All right. Where's it's here, I think. One sec. I have a song that I want to play.
Yeah, no, only if there's time. But I'm not in a rush to run away.
There is.
It's like 2 a.m.
It's only 2 a.m. It's only 10 for me. Mind you, I go to bed
Time traveling
by
bastard.
like 11 usually.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, someone else said that's better than the new Side Piece version. I agree.
Yes, I only made it. Literally took me an hour, and I just copied what you done with
Where-
Welcome to the Jungle.
I'm on the same management as Side Piece, so hopefully they don't get mad at me. But
Dude, fuck Side Piece, dude.
wow.
That's Cloverdale. Never getting a gig again.
Yeah, I'm doing a bunch of shows with them this fall.
Why did you message me on Instagram a few days ago saying I hate Side Piece? I really don't like them.
I never said that.
That was kind of weird.
They're great fellas. Love them.
No, they're better at making music than me. They have a Grammy nomination,
Yeah, they do have a Grammy.
but they can't remix Eye of the Tiger for shit.
All right, this is a new tune of mine,
No one clipped that.
and Darren. We'll play one of Darren's after this, an actual ID, he says, and then we'll call it. So yeah, let's go. Why is this not playing? Do I need to refresh or something? It doesn't want to. There we go.
Oh shit, it's 140 BPM down.
Oh baby. All right, we'll end it there.
Well, that was way too slow.
Yeah, I should probably.
Not enough tambourines.
I should probably.
Didn't hear the crickets.
There wasn't enough crickets. You're right.
Yeah, dude, that sucked.
I know. I think I need to speed it up. It's too slow.
Yeah. What's that? Is that 140?
It's 140. Yeah.
Right,
I do have a.
when we play if you play my song after that, it's going to sound like shit. It's going to sound so slow.
Wait,
I reckon.
You should, okay, well, I'll load up yours, and then I'll load up the 150 BPM song I wrote last week.
The one. Is that dubstep? My song is going to sound really slow, and it's like not a really hype song. Well, it's not hype, but it's more.
I bet you it's cool though. Oh yeah, it's cool, sexy. Listen to the sex that Darren's applying to all of us right now.
I like bags, I like stacks, I like money on time. I like bags, I like stacks, I like money on time. I like bags, I like stacks, I like money on time. I like bags, I like stacks, I like money on time.
Oh, buddy! Get out of here! The high-end work on this is magnificent. Oh! Darren, get out of here, bro.
I like bags, I like stacks, I like money on time. I like bags, I like stacks, I like money on time. I like bags, I like stacks, I like money on time. I like bags, I like stacks, I like money on time. I like bags, I like stacks, I like money on time. I like bags, I like stacks, I like money on time. I like bags.
Darren, the mix and the production on this one. What the fuck, bro? Wow.
There's some missing about some missing.
Dude, this one's really clean. This one's really clean.
Yeah, I think the mix is decent.
I find like sometimes your stuff is really like thumpy and big and full of energy and whatnot. This one is clean, man. It's really solid, man.
It sounds really slow, even though it's 130.
No, dude, it's the high end work and the minimal tech kind of percussion and stuff. Excellent.
Yeah, I went for a kind of.
Yeah, I really like this song a lot. Big ups.
Yeah, I like the percussion that comes in. Just see if you keep playing it for a second.
Yep, I will.
Oh
no, wait! I loaded a new link. Can't. Sorry, it's gone. Sorry.
Oh, here comes the 150 BPMs. Jesus Christ!
And then we're leaving.
How am I supposed to sleep after 150 BPM?
I don't know.
Oh, yes.
No subtlety in this one. All right, you get the gist. All right, we gotta go. It's well past our bedtime.
I love how you like went from making dubstep, slowed the way down to house, and then you just went right back up in BPM, back to dubstep.
A little bit.
Just can't help himself in that 140, 50 BPM.
I know, man. I've written a lot up there lately. I've probably.
I know.
I don't know, man.
I think the fastest song I've ever made is 136, I think. For that, I've not ever sent you that edit, I don't think. Did you ever listen to my faded edit?
No, I don't think so.
I sent you a while ago, but you just ignored me. That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. I did.
At some point with a new telescope.
This is another one also fast as hell.
Got money up a long like rope on tour for the show, new flat for the gross surveillance. Some point with a new telescope, and that's why we step on them in Nike, them in Nike, them in Nike. That's why we step on, that's why we step on them in Nike.
Oh yeah.
That's why we step on them in Nike.
Maybe that saw thing is too loud. I just did that last night, so I should probably turn that
Dude,
down.
that song goes pretty hard.
Yeah, I might need to chill here soon.
Yeah, I think
you're about. I gotta
go
chill.
to space.
I gotta chill. I gotta.
Next Cloverdale stream, he's making 200 BPM fucking slurpcore.
Slurpo core.
Dude, it's the next big thing, bro.
Slurpo core.
Yeah, but it's slurpcore.
All right, Darren. Thanks a ton for doing this with us. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Thanks
good.
everyone for submitting tunes. Was a fucking
Everyone's
blast.
still here.
Everyone, all the 5 people who are still here. I just scared them all away after playing that
4 of
last
them,
one.
because one of them's me. Up 3. They're leaving.
Oh, one of them's probably me too.